There we go. A few minutes late. Had some breaking news before the show, so
Yeah,
that was great. That was great timing for us.
great timing for the show too, bro.
Exactly. But obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Bradley Beal has just been traded. So that's like the first big move leading up to the 2023-24 season. But Dream, as a Heat fan who just lost in the NBA Finals, that's what I was actually going to start with. But
Oh
now
yeah, yeah.
we
It
have
looks like
we
we
have
have
bigger
to
fish to
pivot,
fry.
right? We gotta
Yeah,
pivot.
we have bigger fish to fry right now. As a team that was interested in Bradley Beal and who didn't get him, what's the emotions like right now, losing out on Bradley Beal?
Um, of course I'm hurt because once again we missed out on another big option. We missed out on James Harden. We missed out on Dame. Those other times we missed out on Donovan Mitchell. It's it's getting to the certain point. What like how many Pat Riley? Why? Like I get it. You wanted to you wanted to play the leverage game. That's why we're like, oh, we're not gonna throw you Tyler Hero in the deal. How about you get Kyle Lowry? You get Duncan Robinson. We'll throw two picks here, but you accept this deal that has Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, second rounders, and here's the catch: it's not you don't even get an unprotected pick, Wizards. You get swaps. You get swaps. So it's not even guaranteed you're going to get the best of the picks out of the two teams. So I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what? I'm not gonna say I don't get it because I can understand why the Suns didn't take the Heat deal because I mean Chris Paul's only on a 1 year deal left. Landry Shamit's also on like a team friendly deal. So against the Heat, you would have had to keep Duncan Robinson for a couple of years or trade him. Same with Kyle Lowry. So I can get that, but it sucks that we lost Beal. But hey, he's now in the Phoenix Suns, and for once again in Kevin Durant's career, he now has a what I would classify as a super team for the third time in his career. How many players could say that? Like they formed three different versions of a super team. Like that's wild. That is wild. And under
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
wild.
it depends on your criteria of a super team.
Yes, it
Some
does.
people have said Bradley Beal is overrated. I think he's really good, very strong scorer, underrated defensively, plays well without the basketball. I think it's a good pickup, especially for how little you gave up. I think you'd be, I don't want to say stupid, but I think it would be a bad decision to not accept this deal. So we're going to talk a little bit about way too early season favorites for next year. I think
We
Phoenix
are.
may have moved up the
Just
pecking
made their
order.
jump. But here's
Yeah,
the thing.
they may
That's what
have.
I also said. I tweeted on Twitter. I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like this was a plus for the Suns. But at the same time, under this new cap apron, with the new CBA rules and all that, they're gonna be in cap hell, man. Like I just have no idea. Depending if they've somehow finagled a way to get somebody in the off season or still trade DeAndre Ayton to boost their depth, which they could still do. Um, yeah, I think this team still needs moves. I don't think you can just say this team is without a doubt. Oh, they're winning the championship. Nah, I don't. It's still we still got the big question: who's getting to the rim on this team? We still got it. Even though Beal's pretty good at that, it's still who's getting to the rim on this team
I
pretty
mean,
consistently.
yeah, after finding out that Bradley Beal led all guards in percentage at the rim a few days
Did
ago,
he
I mean,
really?
yeah, that was a question I found out about on Open Gym. If anyone hasn't watched the episode, go check out the most recent one. But yeah, Bradley Beal does provide some level of rim pressure. Devin Booker, I mean, that mid-range shooting from that team, you've replaced Chris Paul with Bradley Beal, which I think you could argue at this point Bradley Beal might even be better than Chris Paul from the mid-range. That type of shot making is something that's extremely valuable in the postseason. Now, do I think that they've addressed their defensive concerns? No. Do I
No.
think that they've addressed their playmaking concerns? No. Do I think they've addressed their concerns about getting to the rim? No. But I do think this is a very potent offense that will be very hard to slow
It's
down.
one of those trades that you're like, okay, for this price, I'd be stupid if I declined it. Like for what you're giving up, like you keeping they already waived Chris Paul, but you keeping Landry Shamet, I mean, sure, he's just shooter that is absolutely terrible on defense. I don't like you're not gaining anything really. And Chris Paul, we already know what he does at this point of his career. He's pretty much washed, unfortunately. But I think these are one of the deals you have to do, even though it does put you potentially for years to come in a really bad situation under this, new CBA. But yeah, I think it's a deal you have to do. It's just what it is.
They still have Deandre Ayton as a trade piece
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
that's what I'm saying. The Aiton is still a guy that can still get traded. Now that depends on what his actual trade value is, because I thought Beal's trade value was way higher than this, but the NBA surprises you. The NBA really does surprise you. So, but if they can still get Beal, get a defensive rim protector over there or something of that sort, maybe another wing potentially. Now I will start being like, okay, I think this team seriously can. I still think this team is in the West, especially in the West. The way the situation is looking right now, other than Denver, I still think they're a contender.
I mean, I think you could say they're a contender, including
Yeah,
Denver. To be honest. Now, do I think they're the favorites? Maybe not, but
yeah, not the favors.
there's still a lot of moves to be made. We still don't know what Denver's going to do in the offseason. We don't know if Phoenix are done making moves, the Lakers. That's what we're going to get into today. A lot of just talk about what teams need to do, what teams did, what was good, what was bad, etc. There's a lot to talk about. But I do want to start. Well, I want to now pivot over to where we was meant to start before this news dropped.
News
Your team just lost in the finals in 5 games to the Denver Nuggets. First
we
time
did.
NBA champions for the Denver Nuggets. Congratulations. How do you feel about that series from your perspective?
I mean, the series went pretty much exactly how I thought it would went, and that was Denver was just a better team. I saw a lot of people, including some people our player choice when you were over there, like like, oh, Mike Malone was absolutely out coaching Spo, and I mean, sure, in some aspects he was, but at the end of the day, Spo was having to deal with the deck on his cards, and he had Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan, everybody else on that team. But I think it really came down to in that series was we didn't have a real shot creator to really punish and scare the Nuggets, especially because once the Nuggets started stop sending over help on Jimmy drives, it got really ugly. It got really ugly. And then Gabe Vincent, after his first two immaculate games, his pull-up shot just disappeared. And then without Gabe, and especially since we didn't have Tyler Hero, now Jokic can just go on a deep drop, and that's what he was doing for the rest of that series. And we weren't punishing him. Yeah, we just weren't punishing them, and we're just giving Jokic breaks on defense, and we're trying to stop him on on defense, and we don't even have the right personnel to do that. Right, we have 6'9" Bam Adebayo trying to guard him, and on occasions we're switching, so he's going to end up with Gabe Vincent on him, or Caleb Martin, or Max Strus, which Jokic would kill. So I thought the Nuggets were just a better team. From where we go from here, I just don't know. I thought this was gonna be the deal. I thought this getting Bradley Beal was the direction, and then I was gonna be like, whew. And especially if we didn't have to give up Tyler Hero, then we could have packaged Hero to try to get a wing. Then I would have been like, okay, I'm liking this direction, but now we're back in the same. Oh, could we potentially get Dame? I don't think we're gonna get Dame. I'm not on that boat like a lot of other Heat fans are, because at this point, Dame just wants to stay in Portland. I'm tired of the news until Dame himself says he gets traded, or until I see that tweet that he's getting traded. I'm not buying any of the news of Dame going to Miami or anywhere else for that matter. So at this point, I just don't know where the Miami Heat direction is. To be honest with you, Mars, I just don't know where they go from here,
I
especially after
mean,
this big miss.
yeah, you brought up an interesting point about your team's lack of shot creation. I think what would be a great question to ask is if you guys had Bradley Beal in this series, how does the series look? A shot creator of his level in this Denver Nuggets
I think it
series.
obviously looks different because now I think you add that shot creator. Now the Nuggets doesn't go into that deep drop look that they were doing in some of those pick and roll coverages because Beal's a really good pull up shooter and just a good shooter in general. So now that adds another dimension to the team, and he's a very good off ball weapon, right? He's a very good cutter. He can quickly bounce off screens. A pretty nice DHO guy as well. So I would have, if he was on this team, man, I was talking about it. I would have liked this synergy with him and Bam, or what they could have done, or what even Bam and not Bam, what it Beal and even Jimmy could have done potentially. But Unfortunately, the Suns of all people, the Suns, who nobody thought was gonna happen. Because when this first deal happened, even like I want to actually ask you, Mars, when we first was hearing Beal, what was like the first team you thought of? It was like, oh, Miami. Like Miami's potentially that
Yeah,
team to
I
get.
didn't I
Like
didn't
Phoenix didn't even
expect
pop in my
I didn't
mind.
expect that you could get Bradley Beal for this little, but
I
when you
didn't
have a
even
no trade
Phoenix didn't even
clause,
pop in my mind for a potential destination to be the
that's the
MVP.
power of a no trade clause though. If
It's
Bradley Beal says I'm
crazy.
going nowhere besides Phoenix, I mean you've limited your options now and you kind
Yeah,
of have
you
to
really
accept
did.
whatever Phoenix is willing to give you. So that's the power of a no trade clause. He basically controlled where he wanted to go. He chose Phoenix. Phoenix got away with giving up, I would argue, the bare minimum to acquire a player like Bradley Beal. But I do think we'd be disrespectful to not talk about the actual NBA champions, Denver Nuggets.
Yes, that's just true.
We
That is true.
spoke about Miami. You did make a video about the Denver Nuggets.
I did. I did.
Go check out Dream's channel. Link is in the
We appreciate
description.
that.
You can see his links also
I hope y'all know a
on the
Beal
screen.
video is 100% coming out tomorrow too. As soon as this stream is over, I'm going right into it. Straight up, bro.
Stay tuned to the Bradley Beal video
Stay
too.
tuned, man. Stay tuned.
But I do have to ask you, what do you think about the Denver Nuggets, not only this year, but how formidable do they look and what do they look like going forward for you?
I talked about it in the video and I'm going to talk about it here again. I really, really like the Nuggets direction, mainly because I feel like as generic as it says, as people say, they did it the right way. And why I'm bringing that up is because the way they built it, they're in a situation where Jamal Murray's locked up, MPJ's locked up, Aaron Gordon's locked up, Jokic is locked up. Is right. Pretty much your core is locked up to the team, and you're not going to be in cap hell either because these are some of these guys. You know, you grew up with, right? Like you drafted Jamal Murray, you drafted Jokic. You didn't draft Aaron Gordon, but you made a very good trade at the time, which I feel like had some eye rolls a little bit because Gary Harris was a pretty core piece for that Nuggets team, but they had to do what they had to do to bring in a vertical threat like Aaron Gordon, who needed to be in this situation because this was the perfect place I feel like Aaron Gordon could have went to. But I brought it up. I think this Nuggets team potentially, of course, is really hard, but potentially they could be the NBA's next great dynasty because of their ability to have a guy like Jokic who just makes everybody better. You still have Jamal Murray who just come playoff time just takes a jump in his game. Like when we talk about playoff risers at this point, again, it's 2 years now, but Jamal Murray has to be there at this point because what he does in the playoffs is kind of ridiculous. And if they can bring back Bruce Brown, I was hearing Mike Malone, drunk Mike Malone, he was like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere. If that turns out to be right, if they find a way to bring back Bruce Brown and then eventually lock him up, I really like that team because Mars, what do they have? They have really great ball movement. You have Nikola Jokic, who's pretty much a mismatch expert for anybody they guard. You have Jamal Murray, who's turning out to be that guy that not a single defender can really give him problems. Aaron Gordon has become a very like a much better passer being next to Jokic, and him being that vertical threat and not having so many isolation touches as he did in Orlando and playing next to Jokic, who's going to pretty much create all the looks for him. Like this team is looking really good. And then they still have KCP as well. Great screen navigator, great movement shooter. And then Christian Brown, who's 19, 20 years old. Like this team, I think, they're here. They're here for good. Now, Christian Brown's probably not 19, 20. I was capping on that, but I was trying to actually give him a boost, but I think I like
I
the
think he's at
direction.
21, 22.
Yeah, he's like 21, 22 because I forgot he played in
Kansas.
college. So.
Yeah, he had a few years at Kansas.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think you pretty much covered all of it. Denver looking like a very tough team to beat. I still have some reservations with their defense when it comes to playing up against some of the better outside shooting teams who can really extend their defense beyond the 3-point line. Maybe if Portland get their act together, they can be a tough out. Golden State is obviously the go-to where you can look at them. No, I think Phoenix as well with the amount of pull-up weapons they have.
They just got like 3 premier pull-up pick and roll creators too. Bro, like, come on, bro. Like, come
And just so you guys
man.
know, I don't cap when I say Lowe's joining the show.
Oh,
Lowe's
look at
here.
Lowe,
Hey.
There we
man.
go. Lowe is
The
here.
show started ironically when Bill got traded, so
That's crazy,
it's
bro.
not really
Dream hit me up right before the show. Bill got traded. I had to go on Twitter. I didn't even know. Bill got traded. Boom. Woj. I was like, okay, this is great timing for the show. I saw you was in your Twitter space. I was like, okay, Lowe's trying to.
Oh, so you follow me?
No, you. I look
Oh
up
no,
your tweets
no,
occasionally. I
that's
look up
cool.
your
You
tweets
follow now.
occasionally.
You follow me.
I follow no one on Twitter.
Yeah, you follow me.
The same way I search for Woj, I search for Lowe. I saw.
Ah, you talked in.
Oh, okay. I'm at this. So you just don't follow me though?
I don't follow no one on Twitter. Though.
Jesus Christ.
No one even knows my Twitter account. But what we've covered so far, the Bradley Beal trade. We spoke about the Denver Nuggets, spoke about Miami Heat. But I want to ask you, Bradley Beal trade, what does that do to the Western Conference landscape? How do you feel that's going to alter things for Phoenix, and if at all?
So I'm here. We talking actual hoops. I can't.
Yeah,
troll
we
too
are.
much.
We're not.
This is real hoop
This
talk.
is hoop
This
talk,
is real.
bro.
This is real hoop talks. I'm kind of surprised how early they did it because I don't really know. I'm assuming they had something for DeAndre Ayton, because I can't imagine that you would ever make a trade like this and you have like your team's roster construction is as bad as it is. So from a name perspective, I guess is another name that can create and kind of score on his own. Beal is a really good off-ball movement player. His finishing numbers this year were pretty abnormally high. But obviously he kind of still struggles with the same thing that everybody else on the team kind of struggles with in terms of KD and Book, which is any type of dribble penetration, playmaking, any high leverage passing. So it's going to make it much more difficult for them to still get quality looks in the postseason, especially when you go up against teams that have personnel that can kind of defend 2 out of the 3 players. We saw KD this year struggle against Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon at times. So I don't really know how much more productive a lot of these players can be, even if they're on the same team with one another. Then obviously with Ayton on the roster, that's just like not enough defensive presence. So I'm assuming he's going to change, but I just really wonder what the rest of the roster is going to look like, because with just those 4 players alone, KD, Booker, Beal, and Ayton, $161 million committed to the cap.
Yeah,
we now we now have a second tax apron rule set in place. So where if you're over that second tax apron, which I believe it's like 171, you're limited immensely to like what you can do from a roster perspective. No MLEs. When you make trades, you have to make it dollar for dollar. You can't trade draft picks too far in the future. You're not a part of the buyout market anymore, and they're just $10 million away from that, and they only have four people under the contract. So some of the same problems that they had last season, defense continuity, depth, those are still going to be problems entering the next season. It's just going to be funnier on Twitter to say that KD lost with another super team. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, that does lead us into this super chat, which I find very interesting. Hunter 3200. Suns are done. IMO, no defense, no playmaker. KD's never beating the super team allegations. Do you think KD as a player will be overlooked because of the narratives? And I think that does go to the point Lo just made, where we talk about, yes, they have a super team on paper, but there's still a lot of holes in this roster. There's still a lot of question marks, only having 4 guys really tied down, and that's really all your money gone. But we can also still call it a super team, and if they do end up not winning, which I think is very possible because of all
they're
the
gonna
holes,
get slandered, right?
the narratives are going to be that Kevin Durant is not that great because he couldn't win without a super team.
And I will be there.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think the non-hoop talk Low will also be there pushing these agendas too.
I will be there, man. It's not even that. It's just the fact that the way obviously people like perceive Kevin Durant, like that, like the Ringer still had him as like a top 5 player, and I'm like, Jesus, like I don't know. I don't know, what do you see? Like, I don't know how he's still top 5. I just don't get that at all.
Yeah, number 1, I can't wait for Dell's reaction to this. But number 2, I'm actually happy you went into that, Low, because I wondered, like, under this new cap apron, like, who could they actually get in the offseason? Like, because they still need a wing, I think, to bolster that roster. I just don't know what they can get in the offseason this year.
They still need a lot of things. They need
it's just
a 5, a point. It's really, like I said before, it has a lot to do with what they're going to get from the which call position, the point from the Ayton trade. That's really going to determine how the rest of the roster is going to shake up. I don't know who's really in the market though for DeAndre Ayton. That's kind of the bigger problem as well. Like, I just don't know how many teams are out there trying to like really push for a DeAndre Ayton trade. I just don't know at all, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. Like I'm here thinking in my head what type of teams would go after DeAndre Ayton. The first team that really came to my mind was just Oklahoma City, just based on the amount of money they have. Maybe they're willing to try and be a bit more competitive, bring in a big man because they don't really have much size outside of Chet, who is going to be a rookie, not very like big. He's tall but not very big. So maybe they might take a flyer on DeAndre Ayton and see what he can do because they can really afford to do so. And that can kind of free up some money for Phoenix to maybe make some moves. But other than that, I don't know what really teams are looking at DeAndre Ayton as a viable centerpiece of a trade. If you guys have any ideas, I mean, shoot them out. I'm here to listen, but I don't really know many teams that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Portland, maybe Portland wants to get that help for the help that
for Dame.
Dame wants. Yeah, that Dame wants. Maybe Portland. But
we already know that he doesn't really have that crazy of a market because last year in the offseason, nobody really was looking for him. So I actually don't know either. And if you are in a market for Ayton, how much are you really willing to give up for him if Porzingis is also on the table as well? Because now we know that Porzingis is probably going to be moved as well. So that's another big that's on the table who might be at a I think he is on a smaller contract, shorter contract as well.
He has a player option this offseason, which he can opt in.
KCP has a player option.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah. So like, why would I want? I'm going to commit to DeAndre Ayton when I can just have Porzingis. Like I don't know. Like, granted, Porzingis with the injuries and stuff like that, but like I don't know. Like I would probably rather roll the dice with Porzingis on a cheaper contract than DeAndre Ayton, especially because it's not like Ayton is really moving the needle for me when I look at a lot of these teams. Maybe if Charlotte wasn't as bad as they were and then they didn't tank as bad as they did, then maybe I could see them moving their pick, but it's the second overall pick for DeAndre Ayton. I don't think they're going to move that. And also new ownership in Charlotte. Also, they tend to like to shake things up. I don't know. There's like a lot of things that are on the table right now, and I just don't know if you are a team in the NBA that wants DeAndre Ayton the way that he just performed in last postseason run. I just don't know what you would want out of him.
Yeah, it gets really tough. I'm seeing because right now I'm looking maybe Dallas, Chicago, New York.
Dallas was a team I was thinking of. Maybe you give up Josh Green, Tim Hardaway, Maxi Kleber, maybe like those type of players. Just give up a lot of your depth to try and build somewhat.
And at that point, do Dallas even do that for Ayton of all people?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the market is like right now because Bradley Beal to Phoenix is probably the last thing I expected. So I don't know how this market's going to work out. I think we have to wait for the draft to unfold. I think that's going to be very interesting seeing what happens in the draft. Dallas still have a number 10 pick, I believe. They might be willing to move that in the DeAndre Ayton trade. We'll see what's going on. But there is a couple super chats I want to get into. Alan R with the first factual super chat, just trying to remind Lo that Mars won. Great super chat, Alan. That is facts. I did win the trivia about who Lo did cheat.
Oh no. That's not what happened. But okay.
You talking about the one Dub didn't know the answers to?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about what Dub was.
Sad to say that fugazi of a trivia question, a trivia contest.
Yeah, we do not need to talk about what Dub was doing. Ahmed Aldhari said, "Hey guys, love the show. I'm a Kings fan, and I heard a rumor that they're trying to trade Monk and Herter and 2 first rounds for Beal. Is it too much?" He made the super chat yesterday. So he didn't know Beal got moved.
That's tough.
So Ahmed, that trade did not happen.
How did you feel? How did you feel about what they got for Beal? Because I was kind of surprised because I thought that there were better options out there for Beal.
I'm surprised at how little it costs, but I think when you start thinking that a player has a no trade clause, I mean, at that point, it's basically free agency. At that point, you could get the best deal available from Houston. They could offer you Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, their number 4 pick, their number 20 pick, and you can just say, no, I'm not going to Houston. And therefore, if I only say I'm going to Phoenix, no matter what Phoenix offer me, Washington have to kind of accept that because they're kind of held at gunpoint at that point, which is why I think no trade clauses are terrible for organizations, but great for players. So I think Washington didn't do themselves any favors giving Bradley Beal $250.
Yeah, that no trade clause really hit them.
They gave him a trade kicker as well too.
Because what more can you really do in that situation if you're Washington? You can't really like tell Phoenix, no, we want more, because they'll just be like, you're not going to trade him anywhere else. So at this point, we have you right where we want you, where we just give up whatever we want and you have to take it.
So you believe that he didn't want to go to Miami either?
I don't. I think if he had the option between both of them, I think he'd choose Phoenix every time. In
Isn't that
my
crazy?
opinion.
Isn't that
Dream,
crazy?
sorry, no offense. But
That's tough.
I think Phoenix is probably his ideal destination. So unlucky to Miami, even though I think they probably had more to offer, even though they were unwilling to offer up Tyler
They
Hero.
didn't want to offer Tyler Hero again, bro. It's getting to that point. Like, this guy better become a 25-point per game scorer. That's what I was telling Mars.
I heard he has Bradley Beal potential.
I was about to say Beal for Beal.
He better have Beal potential. He better have Beal potential, bro.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
This is getting sick.
You guys could have got James Harden. You guys could have got James
Harden. Missed on Harden, missed on Donovan Mitchell. Now
it's been.
And I'm not believing none of this Dame smoke, bro. I'm not believing any of it.
Why not? Yeah. You don't believe in Dame?
No, bro. This man Dame's he's gonna stay in Portland. We know how this man operates, bro. I'm loyal, bro.
I don't know. This time might be different because in a new ownership in Portland.
There is, yeah.
But what's you think they're going to trade Dame against?
Yeah, they'll push for it if because I think that there may have been an understanding between Dame and old ownership about what they're trying to do. I honestly think, I mean, one of the worst things could happen this offseason, and that's Portland punting potentially on Scoot Henderson for Dame, for another Dame-led team that we all know is going nowhere. And if that happens, bro, I can't rock with Dame anymore, bro. I just can't. Like, he's actually sabotaging that franchise, bro.
Yeah, I've said this is a relationship that's benefiting no one. Dame's not benefiting from this. Portland's not benefiting from it. They're just in a toxic relationship, trying to stick it out, and no one's benefiting. They just need to part ways.
Yeah,
no one wants to.
In my humble opinion, no offense to Portland. Any Portland fans, I think
that's it. They just both afraid to be like, I'm done. I'm
exactly. Done. We've got a couple more super chats here, and I'm trying to keep them in order of what's relevant to the topic right now. So Hunter 3200 again. I think the Bucks should have pushed for Bill. What's you guys' thoughts? And if you disagree, who should they have went for? Also, Randall for Porzingis. I'm gonna ask you guys about the Bucks getting Bradley Beal first, and we can address Julius Randall, I guess. But what do the Bucks really have to offer for Bradley Beal?
I mean, that was the first thing I was gonna ask. What are they offering?
I don't know how the money works. I guess Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's better than anything Phoenix offered, but at the same time, it always comes down to if Bradley Beal wants to go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to, no matter what Milwaukee do, he isn't going to go there. And I'm under the impression that Phoenix was his number one destination. So Phoenix was the only team that really.
And man, it's all about connections, man. His agent was, the father of, the Suns CEO. So I mean, connections matter in these NBA spaces.
That is for sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we don't really have any say so. I mean,
we're just talking on it as it happens. The predictions, not as great, but talking about
but not only that, but it was literally up to Bradley Beal. Like, we could have literally outlined a better situation for him, a better trade in his favor for both teams. It could have made more sense, but if he doesn't want to go there, then I mean, there's nothing that we can do about that.
Exactly. There's a few more super chats on free agency, and then we can move on to better topics. Not better topics, different topics. Kane Thompson, where is Lopez going? I think Dallas. You guys think Brook Lopez is going to Dallas or staying in Milwaukee, or what do you think?
I think he just stays. I think he stays.
I think he stays as well. I think he stays.
Do you think Dallas might offer maybe some larger sum of money on a 35-year-old Brook Lopez who might be looking for his last payday?
Possibly. I mean, theoretically, yes, but Brook Lopez, off of what his decisions have been made over his career, he seems like he's more in tune with, I just want the best situation rather than a financially compensated for whatever reason. Especially because the money's going to be good regardless. It's not like he's getting paid like $9 million here and then like 20 over there. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be. I mean, we're talking about a difference of maybe like $5 or $6 million. Like, I mean, I would rather probably stay on a legit title contending team. For sure.
I agree. KP's going to the Warriors. Let's go. That was my trade I outlined a while ago. So if that happens,
what was the outline? What is the deal? What's the deal?
Jordan. I think I said Jordan Poole.
Is it Kuminga too?
Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and then and then for a 1-year rental of KP. That's what I said.
1-year rental, bro.
But we'll see what happens with Washington. I do think it's pretty evident they're blowing it up now. I don't know what they're going to do with Kuzma. I don't know what's happening with him. But KP is going to be traded. I'm 94% certain of it.
Yeah, he will be. Good thing you're a Houston fan now, though, Morris, right? So you don't even root for him.
There we go. Houston fan for real.
Yeah, but y'all might get Harden.
Let's read the super chat. Mike, is it true that LeBron is the smartest player in NBA history? If so, what makes him that? And who are the top 3 smartest NBA players in NBA history? Do you guys think LeBron's the smartest player in NBA history? Actually, first of all, how would you guys tell?
I was gonna say, I hate these type of questions. Like, how am I supposed to judge that?
What do you guys look at when you say, oh, well, this guy has a high basketball IQ, or this guy is smarter than this guy? Is there anything that you're looking at in particular? Because I feel like we can all agree LeBron James has a higher basketball IQ than Jordan Poole. Like we can all see when we watch them play, LeBron James knows the game better than Jordan Poole. So what is it that we're looking for when we discuss the smartest NBA players? Is it assist to turnover ratio? Is it playmaking ability? Is it just decision making overall?
What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I'm asking the question.
Assist the turnover ratio.
I'm asking the question. What do you guys look for when you look for the smartest NBA player? What are some things that would help you make that decision?
Some of them I think are easy to understand. Like if you see LeBron, like what he was doing to the Raptors, just reading what, like saying the plays before they actually happen. That's like one of the things you can see. Mismatch hunting, I think that's one of the like key factors when you're judging that. Like constantly trying to find a mismatch in your favor. I think those are just easy things you can just identify when you're watching these games.
So what did you say in your what?
So what? You didn't hear me?
Yeah, what did you say in your...
Oh, I said these are easy things that you can identify.
Oh, I thought I heard a voice crack. What you saying,
oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. Mismatch hunting would be a key factor. I think overall decision making, ability to map the floor, ability to read the defense, those type of things. Understand, for me, defensive rotations are a big part of IQ on the basketball court. A lot of people you'll see they fall asleep without the basketball when they're not guarding directly on the ball. I'm not going to say any names, but Klay Thompson comes to mind, so maybe I could say it. But there's a lot of like stuff like that I think would be indicative of basketball IQ. And would I say LeBron James is the smartest NBA player of all time? Possibly. I don't think I've ever made a list. I think he'd be on the short list of the smartest players. Would he be number one? I don't know. I think LeBron James would be up there. I think you could argue Chris Paul is up there. I think Jason Kidd is up there. I think Rajon Rondo would be up there.
The problem is that it's almost very difficult to be a superstar and not be high IQ, if that makes sense. Because like there's just certain things that you like. Somebody said Jokic, like Jokic would be up there as well. Mm-hmm. Like it's really hard for you to be that caliber player, understand advantage creations, understand how to like utilize your teammates and floor spacing and player movement, utilizing the defense's weaknesses and leveraging that for a positive against you. Like those are all things that, even though you may not understand what's happening in a moment, especially when you go back and you look at it, you can start to realize like, oh, the reason why they're doing XYZ is because how smart this one individual is, and he's like reading defenses and reading offense. So like another name to, I guess, to another extent, maybe not as a superstar, but I think Draymond is like hyper intelligent. Yeah. I think he doesn't get enough credit for that in the way that he kind of reads teams' offenses and has, you know, he's scheming everybody on the floor at the same time, like his own teammates, telling them where to go, how to rotate, scram switching, understanding like how to like force the opposing team to do things that they don't want them to do. But I would assume LeBron is at the tippity top of that list. Like maybe not number one, but I mean at a very, very, very short list of players, LeBron would definitely be up there. Not a shadow of a doubt.
We all agree on that. LeBron James is a smart basketball player.
Definitely one of the most intelligent basketball players I've seen in my life. Without a doubt.
The Kings fan chimes back in. To be honest, I'd rather have Ayton. We need a big. You have to move to Sabonis.
Then who? Then Sabonis?
Yeah, I mean I don't think you'd want to trade Ayton for Sabonis. I don't think that benefits.
Okay. I was about to say, all right.
But that's the Kings fans' opinion. Maybe he can chime back in with what he was willing to give up. Maybe it's the Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, and some picks. Maybe he wants to have Sabonis and Ayton as a front court. Ahmed, tap back in if that's what you're getting at. I don't want to.
Yeah, you trying to squeeze his pockets, huh?
Hey,
Jesus.
I appreciate the support.
He's like, hey man, just in case you want to really elaborate off what you're saying.
Hey, if you want to elaborate,
I'm not mad at it.
It's just $1.99 away, man.
Elaboration is always welcome over here. Pimp named Slickback. When have we seen these older super teams win? History shows something always goes wrong. Injuries, lack of depth, lack of defense, etc. How many
the most extreme of that? This is the most extreme version of that, though, because
KD's 35, 34, I believe. One of those. Bradley Beal got drafted in 2013.
He's probably 30.
Yeah, he's probably like 30. Devin Booker's probably like 26.
Yeah,
it's not really old per se. Like Boston were older, right?
They weren't.
KG was 28, right? Paul Pierce was.
I can't remember, but he was a
Paul Pierce, he just around 28.
Yes, he just happened to be the same age that D Wade was when they formed their big three as well. I just know that because I'm a dickhead, but that's why. And then Ray Allen
was probably like 30 at the time.
Yes, he was oldest one. Okay. Yeah, so I don't. Technically speaking, even they weren't really old. The last like old one, obviously was I guess Karl Malone and GP going to the Lakers, but before that, Hakeem Barkley and
it'd probably be that.
Yeah, that's
Basketball Reference is saying Ray Allen was 32, Paul Pierce 30, Garnett 31.
So they're a little bit older.
2008.
Yeah, 2008. That the year they won the championship. That's the year.
That I think that hits the criteria. All about 30 at that time. That's a bit older. I think you.
But they still had depth in defense though.
They did. I mean, Frank Vogel's a good defensive coach. He might be able to figure something out. I don't know what
this roster.
I'm about to say,
I think
you gotta have someone. Yeah, come on now. You can't create miracles now.
Yeah, I think there's still a few trades away, but it's possible.
A few.
Yeah.
Man.
A few trades.
In 2021, at least he still had Caruso and KCP.
Chat, does he know chat? Oh man.
Someone in the chat said the Nets in 2013. Do you guys consider that a super team?
Even if you want to consider it, I mean, they failed miserably. So to answer the question, when does it work? It normally doesn't work because of these problems that we're talking about. I guess the reason why you would think it would work is because the ceiling of those three players are just astronomically higher than the ceiling of the other players that we're referring to, and especially like the 2013 Nets, like astronomically higher. And then we kind of got a version of that from D Book this year. I mean, he shot the Suns into 2 wins into a series that they should not have been able to compete with. Just off of just shot making alone, he was able to shoot them into 2 wins in that series. So who knows? But yeah, that roster. That's a nasty roster.
Yeah, it's a very flawed roster, and that's my biggest issue. I think that's why Denver is so
don't have
great
anybody, bro. Other than campaign that can bring back on a team option. Everybody else,
they don't have anybody.
I think they technically have the bird rights to TJ Warren as well. I think.
TJ Warren too.
But
I mean, we're TJ Warren though.
Right now. Yeah, I'm about to say it is TJ Warren though. It is TJ Warren. This is also another reason why you have to draft well, because my goodness, I don't even know when the last young player they drafted that turned out to be solid. Because at least when they went to
it would be Devin Booker.
I mean, sooner
2016 they got Dragon Bender. 2017 was Marquise Chris. 2018 was DeAndre Ayton. 2019, chat reminds me, I don't know who they drafted in 2019.
They traded for what's his name? Mikal. They traded for Mikal Bridges.
Oh yeah, they traded that guy who was in Philly. I can't remember his name.
I don't.
Zaire Smith.
So
does that count as a good draft for them because they traded for Mikal even though they drafted Zaire Smith?
Maybe, but the last 2 players they drafted since then was Jalen.
They also got Josh Jackson, which was bad.
Yes,
Josh Jackson was bad.
Jalen Smith, which did not pan out.
He's in Indiana now. Yeah,
he's in Indiana, and Day'Ron Sharp, who they traded on. They traded on draft night as well, and then they didn't have their 2022 draft pick at all. The reason why I say it is because at least when they were building out whatever they were building out there in Brooklyn, they still could say, hey, we have Nick Claxton, who was like emerging as a starting caliber center while we kind of figure things out. They don't even have like anybody who's
somebody said Cam Johnson in 2019.
They did get Cam Johnson. He was a very old rookie though, I believe. He came in.
Yeah, he was an older rookie. Yeah.
He was. This is tough, boy.
Yeah, Phoenix is new ownership, trying to compete straight away. Clearly, it's very interesting what you're doing over there. I think sometime, maybe after the draft, I want to do a show talking about what these teams look like in the future. Because once my team gets Amen Thompson, we can start talking a little bit more. Even though I've heard and this might segue a bit.
Think Charlotte's getting Brandon Miller?
I've heard
man.
is it if Charlotte takes Scoot, Portland's prefer Amen Thompson over Brandon Miller. That's what I've heard. And if we end up with Brandon Miller, I know this is the Hoop Talk podcast.
You're cooked.
It's cooked. The Houston Rockets is cooked. It's cooked.
Two Trevor Reeves. Let us see it, man.
No disrespect to Brandon Miller. I hope he pans out. I hope he has a great career. Just
on your team.
Houston. Just not in Houston.
No,
so I will be a Charlotte fan for the draft, hoping they draft Brandon Miller.
Wow.
They're not drafting. If they draft Brandon Miller,
that's the dumbest thing they'll ever
That's
do.
dumb. Yes, that's dumb. If they draft Brandon Miller, that's dumb.
Mean, he had a good year in college. I mean, let's not.
He looks like at very, very best Paul George. At very, very best.
You wouldn't take Paul George over an athletic point guard who can't shoot?
I'm taking Scoot Henderson over at best Paul George. Not even Kawhi. Your ceiling is PG.
There's new. So Chris Haynes says.
You was about to say something crazy.
Yo, Chris Haynes says the Wizards are trying to reroute Chris Paul to the Clippers now. That's what.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nasty East, man. This is nasty.
People in the chat have been saying that. I've been every time I see it in the chat, I go on Twitter to look up Woj and see if he said anything.
I just gotta make sure it's true.
I don't trust it unless Woj or Sean says it. So until then,
you don't trust Chris Haynes? You don't trust Chris Haynes?
Nah,
Chris Haynes, he follows me. I have to. I have.
Oh, so Chris Haynes follows you, but I don't. See, I'm more big time than Chris Haynes.
Oh Lord.
Let me find out Mars's
Twitter.
Yeah.
While you do that, Pimp Name Slipback said to me, Julius Randle has the highest IQ of all time. Thank you for the $2, my man.
What a troll.
Yeah, thank you for that. Zion Sturdivant Tuma, I hope I said that correctly. We need a numbered list of the top 5 offensive players of all time and why. Can we get the same for defense as well? Shout out to you guys. Stay putting in work.
I think we said this numerous times already.
We can give a rough draft of the top 5 on both sides, but this will probably end up being a full show for me and Dream in the future. If they wanted to pull up, he could. But this will probably be a full show for me and Dream in the future.
Do we not have the same 5?
What's your 5, Lo?
Yeah, it depends on what is your.
This is a real Hoop Talk 5, by the way. Real Hoop Talk 5.
Oh, you already know. I in real Hoop Talk, I have Jokic already top 5. So there's that.
That's what I want to ask.
Let's
doing over the course of a career. Are we doing strictly peaks?
Let's do peak for this. Do peak.
Dream. If it's just peaks, Mars does one of your sample sizes, so you got to be careful with him.
Oh no, I know this because we did a whole show. We had to.
Hey, we did a whole show, and I was doing 3 years. Don't
yeah,
do
we did 3 years. We did 3 years.
Low. Your top 5 offensive peaks, and then we'll do top 5 defense after.
LeBron, MJ, Magic, Curry, and then Jokic.
That's in order.
Yeah, he said.
Who did I say first?
You said
LeBron. You said LeBron.
You said LeBron, Jordan, Magic, Steph.
Nah, I think Steph is probably higher than Magic. Not probably, he is higher than Magic.
So LeBron, Jordan, Steph, Magic, Jokic.
Yeah, but it's close. It's close.
I mean, you're splitting hairs between.
You're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs.
Dream, how about you?
I mean, mine's, I was advocating the early start. I got Curry 1, I got MJ, I got Shaq, Magic, and then probably either Nash or Jokic for my 5.
So LeBron doesn't make it.
LeBron's not making it?
I forgot LeBron.
Jesus. Wait, say it again?
I could have clipped that, got you on TikTok.
I know.
You could have clipped that for me. But no, my 1 is Jokic 1, MJ 2, LeBron 3, Magic 4, and then Nash 5.
Wait. You said Jokic 1, no Curry now?
Dream.
No. Curry 1. Curry 1.
Dream,
you said Jokic 1 though.
Okay, Dream. One more time.
Jesus.
One more time. Give us
Curry.
the list.
Curry number 1, right?
Curry 1. Okay.
Curry 1. MJ 2.
Okay.
LeBron 3.
Okay.
Magic 4. Nash 5.
So now no Shaq.
Yeah, no Shaq.
Okay, because Shaq was the one I was like, okay.
Yeah, Shaq at number 3 threw me.
Yeah, I was like, yo, okay, all right. Shaq, big Shaq fan over there.
Yeah, right. No. Shaq's not there.
Okay. I'll probably go MJ 1, Steph 2, LeBron 3, Magic 4.
Who's the 5?
that fifth spot, I mean, it's very interchangeable right now. I'm probably still gonna go with Steve Nash at 5. I'll probably still go with Steve Nash at 5.
Is Jokic 6?
Yep.
Okay, so we all have the same 6 then, because I have Nash at 6.
Yeah. I just like Steve Nash playmaking, passing a bit more, and the outside shot as well. Even though Jokic as a scorer is really starting to move.
All things that Jokic does, but okay.
Not as well as Steve Nash.
Not a playmaker, not a passing playmaker, but everything else.
He doesn't shoot as well as Steve Nash either. He doesn't shoot as well as Steve Nash.
It's true. He does not shoot as well.
What do you mean? Okay.
I know he's a fake shooter. Those are.
I was gonna say, don't let this.
Those are wide open
46% fool you, man.
But we all have the same 6. Then that's fine. That's fine.
I was gonna ask you guys because I started thinking about this yesterday. How much, if at all, do you get moved by Steve Nash's offense being transcendent in what appears to be solely one system? Does that hold him back at all, or do you not really factor that in when we talk about Steve Nash offensive transcendence?
Is that not everyone?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that. I got asked this question by Dub yesterday. My answer was
Dub doesn't really talk.
I don't know.
Dub doesn't really talk.
My answer to the question was that an offensive system is meant to maximize your talents.
Yeah,
and therefore, if your talents being maximized leads to the levels of what Steve Nash did, I didn't really hold that against you. But then his rebuttal or his retort was, if you in a maximized situation is such an outlier to everything else you've done in your career, at what point do we look at it as maybe the system made you look better than you really are? So I want to ask you guys if you view it that way.
But he never was in another situation to where the team was meant to maximize him as a player. And then even to that extent, like that's like me saying, because technically speaking, it's different teams, but essentially LeBron's system is to give him the ball and surround him with shooters. I would never in my life think that like do we think that LeBron in a triangle offense be maximized? Like I don't that doesn't make any sense. But I mean, it's Dub. I mean, we get it. I thought we were talking real hoops.
I just wanted to ask. So do you guys? Because Lo, you brought this up to me when we spoke a few months ago about Steve Nash, and you spoke about the Suns missing the playoffs in 2009 when D'Antoni was gone and Terry Porter was coaching the team for like the first 60 or whatever games. Terry Porter changed the system up partially. Steve Nash wasn't operating in the exact same way. Probably his worst offensive season of his peak, of his prime. Is that an indicator that Steve Nash maybe was a system player that maybe wouldn't flourish as well as in other situations? And then the moment Alvin Gentry comes up, who was an assistant to Mike D'Antoni, gets the ball in Steve Nash's hands a bit more, and all of a sudden the 2010 Phoenix Suns have one of the 7 or 8 best offenses of all time again. Is that an indication of that, or is that just an outlier season? Shaq wasn't a great fit. Terry Porter wasn't a very great coach. The Suns still had, by the way, like the second best offense in the league.
I was about to say, what was the offense? The offense, I don't think it fell off.
They were, I believe they were number 2 that year. In offense.
What was the relative from one year to the next? I don't think it was that. It might have been almost exactly the same as from one year to the next. Not obviously not 2010, but from 2008 to 2009, I would highly doubt that the relative offensive rating was anything of difference to even write home about.
I could probably look that up. That might take me a little bit of time.
But you're right though. They operated. It shouldn't take. You just go to Basketball Reference, but they operated in a different manner, and I still think their offense was still at an elite status, so they didn't really change much of anything.
Yeah, because Dub wasn't chatting one time in the stream. We went over the same thing. I don't really get the argument because he only uses it against Nash to try to discredit his status as an offensive player.
In 2010 they were a +7 point, basically a +8.
2010 is
in 2009 they were a +5, and in 2008 they were basically a +6. So not too much of an anomaly. I just wanted to see if you guys held that in any sort of regard. Because I don't really, because I still think he was very good offensively that year. I just think Terry Porter tried to be a bit too post-centric with his offense, which was a bit probably limited the Suns a little bit. But other than that, I think Steve Nash is probably still one of the 5 or 6 greatest offensive players ever. And I implore everyone who watches, we have 500 people in here. Lo is bringing in the viewers. We appreciate you, Lo.
Oh, man.
Very big draw for us. So we appreciate that. But, yeah, I implore everyone who hasn't gone back and watched some of those Suns teams or just gone back and watched Steve Nash post about 2003. Just go back and watch him play and see the impact he has on his team's offenses. And I'm not saying you have to think he's top 5. I'm not saying you have to think he's top 6. Just go back. The box score doesn't do Steve Nash justice, even though he looks really good in the box score as well. But I do implore you guys to just go out, do your own research.
Sean Marion, Barbosa carried him, bro, and Stoudemire, of course.
Yeah, just go back and watch some Steve Nash film. And if you don't like what you see, that's fine. Just do your own research. Don't just listen to what me or Dream or Lowe say, because other than not me, but the other two, they be capping sometimes.
Yo, I love Greatest, man. He says Marge is pushing an agenda for a guy who averages 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, Greatest doesn't like that we have Steve Nash over Kobe offensively. He said a comment earlier that Steve Nash couldn't dunk. So, I mean,
what does that have to do with offense?
It said something like, if you leave Steve Nash open, he might miss. Just saying. That's what he said.
That's what he said?
Yeah, but I like Greatest. Shout out to Greatest. Before I didn't get you guys top 5 defenders of all time, Pete.
You did not ask
for
that.
Dream, I'm gonna start with you. Your top 5.
Okay, and I gotta make sure this is good because before
are you gonna you're starting with are you including all time? So am I gonna hear Bill Russell?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that.
Yeah, you should hear Bill Russell. Yeah,
Jesus, so yeah, come on, Mark. Bill Russell 1. Okay, Bill Russell. I got Hakeem 2, KG 3, Duncan 4, and then I have David Robinson 5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Morris. Yeah, I got
Lowe's a David Robinson hater.
Yeah, I know this.
Which is actually a conversation I would like to have with Lowe. I would actually like
Christ.
to have that conversation.
Holy hell.
But Lowe, I'd like to hear your top 5.
Okay, my 4 is the same. Bill, Hakeem. I have Duncan over KG though. Duncan, KG. In the 5th, I go back and forth, and this is just strictly peak. I go back and forth with Ben Wallace at times, because that's pretty crazy. And quiet is kept, and this may just me being more favorable to today's game.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond. Yeah,
Draymond.
But that might just be me being more favorable to today.
You know that David Robinson rim protection ain't moving you, bro.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest. I understand the issues with David Robinson offensively. I totally understand the playoff drops in offense. We spoke about it before. I didn't think he was as good of a scorer as I think his regular season numbers suggested, due to the fact that he took too many outside shots. Wasn't really great at working himself at inside position, getting easy looks to the rim like a Tim Duncan was. We spoke about all of that. But defensively, what's your issue with David Robinson?
Even from an interior standpoint or post present standpoint, it's just that anytime when there was like competition, I just didn't see it, especially in the postseason. And so to be fair to David Robinson, it's not like he made consistent deep postseason runs, so he could consistently see comp, such as like Hakeem, and then Shaq eventually got into there. But even when he did defend Shaq, and again, this is kind of unfair to him because he was, dealing with his post injury at this point. But from the games that I've seen, he was struggling to do that as well. And the only time that he really got slowed down, Shaq wise, it was a lot of Tim Duncan that was defending him, not David Robinson. So in the few times I've seen him defend, which is supposed to be rim protection and also like post presence, I don't even think that was at a high enough level to justify a lot of other things. Also, I just think that it's also kind of hard to gauge David Robinson at the time because they used to like stretch out 5s because of the illegal defense, and they just have like certain players stand. And the only player that I saw really was Hakeem. Hakeem was the only one who really figured that out. And so that's another reason why I'm like, Hakeem can't be the only person who figures that out the entire 90s. Like, he can't be the only big, and which he was. But that's kind of very telling. And it's not like D-Rob didn't have the athleticism to figure it out either. But again, to be fair to Robinson, maybe with more reps, maybe with more experience in the postseason before he got hurt, maybe that would have altered his impact. But, I mean, obviously, when you're shooting like 14 points, I mean, you're going to get around a lot of first, second round exits, so you're not going to get the reps. So.
That was an unnecessary stray.
No, I'm just saying that
was a very unnecessary stray. But I'm gonna go Bill Russell as well. I think Bill Russell should be unanimously number 1. I think Hakeem should be unanimously number 2. Number 3, I probably go. The more I think about it with KG and Duncan, the more I think when you look relative to era.
Thank you. That's why
that is.
Yeah,
I brought that up.
I think Tim Duncan might be.
Just because he was actually able to put a body on
with KG. I think we see how well that game travels, especially to today's game, and I think that's what's given me like reason to give him the edge defensively over Tim Duncan. But in that time, what was needed at that point, the rim protection, the strength, the post defense, the ability to anchor an all-time great defense, which Tim Duncan did routinely in his prime. I think I'm comfortable giving Tim Duncan the edge defensively now, so I'll probably go Tim Duncan at number 3. I'll probably go KG at number 4. And then at number 5, I think Wilt Chamberlain is up there. I think Nate Thurmond is up there. I still think David Robinson is probably up there. But I think at number 5, I do probably still like David Robinson. So I'll probably still go with David Robinson at 5. And maybe, just maybe.
Not bad of a pick, bro.
I think. Do you have David Robinson top 10 though? That's
yeah.
That is a good question. Okay.
So how far away is he from the top 5 for you?
So I have both Ben and Draymond.
Yep.
Wilt is fine.
So that would be right now. He'd be at 9.
9 or 10. He's like 9 or 10. Yeah. 9.
Okay.
I don't know about
because what is it? What in the postseason? Like the rim protection is there, but it's not like were they ever an all-time great defensive unit before Duncan got there? I don't think so.
I mean, he was still anchoring some like great defenses.
I'm not saying they were great, but I mean Patrick Ewing was great as well. So I mean that doesn't mean that.
I mean, Patrick. Do you think Patrick Ewing has a place in this conversation? Because
I'm just saying Patrick Ewing was I don't think he has a place, but he's an interesting name to bring up. But I mean, Patrick Ewing anchored better defensive units. I think he had better defensive help, though. To be fair. He did have better. I don't think he had better defensive help.
So I mean, I got it right here. In 91, the Spurs were at minus 4.6 relative defense. 92, they were in -4. 93, they were only a -1. 94, -2. And then Dave Robinson's MVP year, 95, they were a -2.8. So they were always a very good defense, but nothing transcendently great compared to like what they had with Tim Duncan, where I mean,
Duncan, they took that.
I'm looking at this right now.
Duncan,
98 minus 5.7, 99 minus 7.
Yeah.
2000. When did Duncan get hurt in 2000?
It's 2000. Yeah, that's the year he got hurt.
They were minus 5.5. 01 -5. 02. This is when Dave Robinson's on the tail end.
Yeah.
2002 -4.8. 03 -3.9. 04 -8.8. Which
that's
is
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. 05 -7.3. 06 -6.6. 07 6.5. 08 5. You get the drift. It was something.
It goes back to the 7 range in 2016, where it's just like that's just ridiculous. Yeah, it had a defensive rating of 99 in 2016, bro. Like, come on.
I think relative to era, I think the 04 Spurs have the best regular season defense of all time. I could be wrong, but I think they do. But
non-Bill Russell years. I'm gonna say
non-Bill Russell years.
Yeah.
What were the KG Celtics were the first year? I think there
was something similar to. They might have been something similar.
I think that's the closest to a 9.
Yeah,
like a 9 than I think anybody's gone non-Bill Russell Celtics. No, Ben Wallace love.
Ben Wallace for me. Ben Wallace. We can talk a little bit about Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace.
Oh yeah, 2008 it was 8.6. That's what it was.
Ben Wallace.
Christ.
Ben Wallace for me, top 10 all-time peak defender in my opinion, and I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. Like outside the top 5, I mean, Nate Thurmond, Draymond Green would probably be in there. Ben Wallace, and then I don't know who that 10 spot would be. I'd probably have to think about it, but he's definitely in the top 10. The issue I have with Ben Wallace, his lack of size, I do think limited him sometimes, not totally, but sometimes. I think Shaq was a mismatch for him, but Shaq was kind of a mismatch for everyone not named Tim Duncan. So that's another reason why I hold Tim Duncan in high regard. I do think he was a bit too aggressive on the perimeter. I do think sometimes he would put himself in precarious situations trying to get a pass that probably didn't make sense, leaving the Detroit Pistons defense in a bit of a scramble mode, which they could often recover because you had Rasheed Wallace behind the play, Tayshaun Prince had length, etc. But I think that probably hurts him a little bit. I also think sometimes he got a bit too aggressive chasing blocks and he'd jump himself out of play sometimes. So I do think when you're picking between like the top 5 and the bottom half of the top 10, I do think it's like little things that you have to nitpick at, whereas like, for example, Tim Duncan never caught himself out of plays very rarely. He didn't really jump himself out of plays. Hakeem always seemed to do a very good job of staying on his feet, not jumping until he would meet you up at the rim. Bill Russell was, he was probably the king of that. And then you're also looking at Kevin Garnett, who to me was just more sound on the perimeter than Ben Wallace was. He was
still very mobile.
Ben Wallace, what was he, like 6'7", 6'8"? He could still move his feet on the perimeter. Yeah. He was very good. He was very strong. But I do think he just had some situations where he was probably too aggressive, and that would hurt him in some situations. Which is why
he's like 6'8", 6'9", but okay.
Ben Wallace 6'9".
That's pretty nasty.
I said 6'8". I said 6'8".
Yeah, I said 6'7", 6'8". If he's
6'7", it's pretty nasty.
If he's 6'9", then
Google says 6'9". So
yeah, I didn't think he was 6'9". But if
6'7" is a pretty nasty. That's a pretty nasty. 6'7".
Lowest ball. Dog.
Yeah, 6'7" is saying he's like Draymond Green height. That's crazy.
Isn't Draymond 6'5"?
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I thought Draymond was 6'5". Like I heard they got his like remeasurements like a couple of seasons ago, and he was 6'5". I heard Kevin Love was 6'8", not 6'10".
Yeah,
like,
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love one was pretty blatant. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, everyone knew Kevin Love wasn't 6'10". But if Ben Wallace is 6'9", I apologize. I want to ask you guys, Dennis Rodman, and you guys fringe top 10, because for me, I'm not as high on Dennis Rodman's defense.
Neither am I.
I think the 1 through 5 thing is kind of over exaggerated, especially when you look at like his defensive peak is in Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all agree on that. Like no one's saying in Chicago when he put on weight and
Detroit.
wasn't.
That's when he was most versatile too.
Yeah, that's when he was a lot more comfortable. He did have a thinner frame. I don't think he was as strong against bigs. I also think John Sally is one of the more underrated defenders of all time. He doesn't get a lot of love for whatever reason. But I think Dennis Rodman will probably fall in the top 15 range, but I don't think he'd make it into the top 10, even though he did provide great value as a rebounder, very strong. I think he's another player with great basketball IQ. He understood angles, he understood rotations. He didn't really leave his team susceptible to many breakdowns. I think that's what gets him a lot of credit. But I still do think he just falls a tier below some of these guys, similar to like a Patrick Ewing, who I think is probably in the 10 to 15 range as well.
There's a lot for me. It's just the era. It's the era. Not I don't want to say era tax, but it's like versatility in that era is not really valued as much as it would in today's game. And I think people do similar things where they like, oh, he can defend multiple positions, but at that time, as a power forward, it's not really value. Like I need you to actually defend.
Yeah, and him not being a dominant rim protector actually hurts.
Yes.
Yeah, I think people get like. And I think I've been guilty of this with Kevin Garnett to some degree. I think not fall in love, but I think we fall victims to recency bias and think that what would work in today's game translates like all the way across past eras. Like the people who said Anthony Davis was a better defender than Tim Duncan because he can protect the rim and he can guard the perimeter. But if you look at what was needed for Tim Duncan's game at his time,
low key, high key.
80.
Let's no way. 80. If he strings along like another year or two, he's he should be in top 10 conversations.
Top 10 conversations.
Not top 5. No.
Yeah.
But low key, high key, bro. The things I be seeing 80 when he's healthy, obviously. Mm-hmm. He's up there, but he's.
I agree totally, but just not in the top 5 talks.
No. He's not. No.
Yeah.
Also, y'all saying Scotty is hilarious. Jesus, somebody saying Scotty.
You know, you're always gonna get the Scotties,
the MJs,
MJ. Yeah. You're gonna get those.
Who's the highest ranking perimeter player defensively all time? Is it Scottie Pippen?
Relative to air, I think it's LeBron, but whatever.
Oh,
at his peak.
Oh,
yes.
peak. Okay, yeah, the peak.
At his peak, yes.
Yeah,
because it's not like Scotty had. Who was Scotty defending at that time?
Magic Johnson in the finals.
Okay,
sorry, real HoopTalk.
So and shout out to Scotty. I think he did a lot of great things to what he provided to that team. It's just that what LeBron was doing as a perimeter, and it could also flex at the forward. and kind of roam around a lot more in a more perimeter oriented era, I think that's just way more valuable. Scotty's value, because especially when he used to switch off on like the Larry Johnson sometimes and the Charles, even Chuck to an extent. Like that type of value is like very, very hard to find. And also just like the ball pressure that he would provide is also very, very valuable, especially because especially if y'all ever watched them play. I don't know how Phil Jackson got to convince them to start doing like full court press. I don't know, like in the middle of the game, they're just full court pressing, like BJ Armstrong and them are picking up people full court. And like Scottie Pippen being able to do that really was valuable because it disrupted a lot of what a lot of teams were doing at that time. But it's just not as valuable as what LeBron was doing in Miami. What LeBron was doing in Miami is crazy, bro. And that was absurd. That was crazy.
Those 4
I mean,
years,
I agree. I got a lot of pushback for saying LeBron peaked higher defensively than Michael Jordan, which
yeah, of course you're
No,
I don't think that's much of a hot take, but I think when you look at LeBron James' defensive peak, I mean, it's very, very high. So before the title of the show is actually 2023 NBA season recap. We spoke about nothing to do with 2023.
The rabbit hole, man. That's what.
But to be fair, I am reading you guys' super chats, and unlike a lot of other shows that have been going around on YouTube, I get through all the super chats. So if you guys came here for the 2023 NBA season recap, the super chats will determine whether or not we get to that. But as of now, I'm just going to keep firing through these because I want to answer all you guys' questions. That's what we're up here to do. Just talk about the game, whatever questions you guys may have. So It's All Love says, any team you'd like to see go after Porzingis. Also, the Suns defense next year, depending on how the roster fills out, may be a layup line. So let's talk about teams that should go after Porzingis.
Yeah,
we've spoke about the Suns defense, so we don't really need to get back into that. But how do you guys feel about? I've already laid out the Golden State Warriors. To me, is probably the best fit. But is there any other teams that you think Porzingis would make sense for?
Dream. I said Hoop.
No, you should.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Hoop. Dream.
Raptors maybe. Raptors potentially.
You think they're trying to compete? You
think
they're trying to compete?
Hey, if they want to do something, Rockets. I don't know.
Rockets.
What are you doing?
What is going on?
What are you doing?
I'm just throwing names out there, but
yeah, I can tell. I
think on a serious note, the Warriors I actually think would be the
I think the Warriors are probably the most clear-cut answer. I don't know what other team is really looking at a Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, Dallas aren't going to be looking for.
I'm gonna say Dallas should be, but unfortunately, there's that.
How do you feel about if Milwaukee lose Brook Lopez, they go after Porzingis?
What do they have to give?
That is true. Considering
Washington just accepted that nonsense for Bradley Beal, Milwaukee have some picks, I believe.
What about Cleveland?
Like the salary cap? How about the salary cap?
Cleveland, what for Jarrett Allen?
Jared Allen or maybe Garland.
I'm not getting off Garland for Porzingis.
I would get off Garland if I can get a defensive guard in the backcourt with D. Mitch and then get an actual scorer in the front court and Porzingis.
You got to remember, Porzingis is only a 1 year at this point. He'd have to opt into his player option.
That is true.
Get traded.
That is true.
And I don't think giving up Garland for that is really viable.
Oh, so if that's the case,
which is why I think you can get Porzingis for a lot less. Yeah. I don't think the Warriors have to give up Kuminga. I think Jordan Poole could get it done. Jordan Poole, like a pick or two, like some swaps. I think that can get it done considering Porzingis on a 1 year deal. So Golden State, I know you guys are paying attention.
How about back
that's
to the Knicks?
Nasty. If they get Porzingis, that's crazy.
The Knicks for Julius Randle.
Back to the Knicks.
For Randle.
Yeah, for Randle, I think the Knicks would do it. You think the Knicks would do it?
Full circle, man. Full circle.
I think the Knicks would do it. I think they'd be silly not to do it.
You think Brooklyn will do it?
Brooklyn for who?
Ben Simmons and picks and Phoenix picks.
You want a Kristaps and Claxton front court in Brooklyn?
Defensively, that's very strong.
Yeah. And offensively, they get a little bit more.
Porzingis can stretch the floor.
He could be that floor spacer.
Depends who they get in the draft. They have a couple picks around 20. I don't know who they're really going to get there. We'll get into that next week. Brooklyn's another option. I still think Warriors makes the most sense. So.
No, the Warriors make the most sense.
I mean, if I actually get them back, oh my gosh.
If I'm about to say y'all, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't do that.
If the Warriors, if the Warriors get that, I mean, y'all are that's Jalen Green and company, so we don't have to worry about that. That team isn't going to be relevant anytime soon. So yeah, if the Warriors get him. That's actually a really good team. That team is actually so good, and people. I mean, this is why I think a lot of people are not high on the Suns, or at least people who actually speak basketball coherently. It's just like there's too many teams out west that are like genuinely one trade away from being competent, and like that right there would put, in my opinion, the Warriors over the top for a lot of reasons. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
That's why I think it's so hard to just foresee a dynasty coming with the Denver Nuggets, just seeing how close a lot of these NBA teams are. Like, I think Milwaukee, just with a new coach acquisition, is right back in the mix, in my opinion, depending on what Adrian Griffin can do over there. I don't know much about him. I'm just saying, with a new coach acquisition, I do think that they're back in the mix, depending on how well he does. I think Philly with Nick Nurse, we need to see what they do with James Harden.
Oh, man.
I don't know, Mars.
Man, Mars, you're throwing the wrong.
Let's calm down.
No, Mars,
Philly with Nick Nurse, that's going to be a high level defense.
That's great for McDaniels.
That's going to be a high level.
He's going to get an actual coach who's going to play him, but that's it.
They're going to be a high level defense, and Joel
Embiid. Because Tobias Harris going to play defense now? What are you saying?
No, because Joel Embiid is going to be a formidable rim protector in the regular season.
Okay, who's helping him?
He's going to take the rage. Man.
Who's helping him?
Don't worry about all the details.
Look, that's it.
No,
we haven't got the whole offseason. We don't know who they're acquiring. So we don't know fully. I believe Nick Nurse is in that coaching job, expecting Philly to go and get some defenders, in my opinion. PJ Tucker's also there. So he's also another good defender.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah, PJ Tucker's still a good. You don't think PJ Tucker brings good defensive value at this point?
He brought good, but every year he keeps dropping, and so I'm anticipating for him to drop again.
Yeah, that's
that. How old is PJ Tucker? That has to be
shout out to me. I do think McDaniels, J-Mac will definitely. No, I think he will, without a doubt. I think he actually will improve. I think he has the most to gain defensively being coached next to Nick Nurse. But outside of that,
we'll see what acquisitions they get.
Shout out to Jalen, but I don't know about everybody else.
Is he Jalen or Jaden McDaniels?
Jaden is in Minnesota. Jalen is in Jaden is already a really good defender.
He should have been on the defensive team.
Jaden is already Jalen is the one that we're kind of waiting for, but I do think that Nick Nurse can get the best out of him. But Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey, that's cooked already. That's
that defensive.
You don't think they're gonna try get off Tobias? I think now is the time to get off Tobias.
It is, but okay. So this is my bigger, and this kind of goes into like what's going on next year. The problem, or even a wrap up of this year. The problem is that this offseason and a lot of these players. The reason why I think that, as we just saw with Bradley Beal, you didn't get that much for him, and I think it's going to be the same for a lot of other players. Well, Bradley Beal is maybe slightly different because of no trade clause, but I think you're not going to get a lot for these players because a lot of teams are kind of stuck at who they have. They've already committed a lot of money to these players, and with this new CBA, you're going to be not hard cap, but you're going to be limited even further when you go over that second tax apron. So. Sure, like Tobias Harris on an expiring sounds great for a lot of teams, but Philly, normally when you give them an expiring, you're giving up a longer contract in return. I don't know of that many teams that have players that are on longer contracts and just trying to get off of. I don't know of that many.
Yeah, I don't know about Philly, Mars. Okay. They're in that situation.
Unless Toronto wants to actually push the restart button. Then we can have a conversation because then a couple players will be moved off.
I think they're going to commit to that, in my opinion. But I don't know what's going to happen in this offseason. I think the way the trade market is looking right now with all the new rules, I do think players' values is going to be much different to what it was a year ago, per se. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Bold Assassin with a super chat said another KD super team. Read if you want to hear our thoughts about that, but low summarized facts.
KD's getting set up once again, man.
He's setting himself up.
That's what I'm saying. He set himself up again, man. He's just...
I can't wait for they to get knocked out in the first or second round, man.
This is LKD hate. LKD hate.
The Clippers would have beat him if Kawhi was just healthy this year.
Okay. Corey Woods, Mars. I don't know why he's asking me about us, but how do I feel about the Golden State Warriors losing DiVincenzo? DiVincenzo was a good contributor for them. I don't know how much it really moves the needle, depending on what Golden State does in the offseason. If they do acquire the big man that they need, I think they're fine with losing DiVincenzo, especially considering they brought back GP2 mid-season, which I think is why they're fine with losing DiVincenzo. Assuming Jordan Poole is gone, I still think that backcourt of Moses Moody, I think next season will probably get more burn. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and GP2 is probably a solid backcourt for next season. Depending on how the front court develops, I still think they're going to be right up there in contention. So I think losing DiVincenzo isn't as big a deal as it would have been if the GP2 trade didn't go through on the deadline. Do you guys?
Another good question. How are we feeling about Draymond? Because it's pretty much just looking like he's opting out. He's going to be opting out, right? So
yeah, he's opting out in search of a longer deal. He doesn't just want to have another 1 year. So he's going to opt out. Maybe try to secure like a 3-year, hopefully not 4 for Golden State's sake, but 3-year deal. Probably in the
100 million, bro. That's what he wants. He wants his 100 million, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised if he re-signs for like 3 years, 60 something. I think he'll take like 20, 22 a year. I don't think he's gonna cripple Golden State by asking for like 25 plus. But we'll see. This offseason is gonna be very interesting. We're gonna have a lot of content to talk about. Ahmed Al-Tahari did chip back in. Thank you very much, Lou, with his 199. He said he doesn't think Sabonis is a good 5. He's a 4. Thank you, Ahmed Al-Tahari, for clarifying and elaborating. So, yes, he wants an Ayton and Sabonis front court.
In today's league, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't like the mobility of that front court at all.
On either sides, really.
Yeah, and also the lack of clear floor spacing that front court also provides.
It's just not. It's sad.
Josh P asked, what about a 3-team trade? Minnesota gets Poole, Ayton, and Kuminga and some picks. Golden State gets Cat, and the Suns get Gobert.
How do y'all feel about Cat in general? Because I neither and I just love shitting on Cat. I don't know why, but Cat is like one of the funniest characters.
I'm not very high on Cat. I'm not very, because when you're a big who's that much of a negative defensively, you have to bring so much value on the other side to make it worthwhile, and I don't think Cat is Jokic. And also Jokic,
I think he's the worst defender than Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic clears him defensively as well. I don't think, for me, if you go through the bigs, I still think Rudy Gobert is better than Cat. I've said that many times. I think what a team gets with Rudy Gobert is just more viable towards winning than what you get with Cat. Just considering, I think it's easier to build a high-level championship team with a very strong defender.
Miles Turner.
Okay, that's where I think you're starting to drag it a little bit.
Actually, I don't think I'm dragging it.
I was gonna say,
I'm about to say I don't think I'm dragging it. That's
the contract into account, because I was looking at.
Okay. If you want to take into the fact that Cat's gonna be earning $50 million.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cat is
it's
Cat might
million, bro.
Okay. If we talking about purely trade value, Cat should be at the bottom.
Okay, I agree with that.
Oh my God.
If you're looking at it from the value to a team based on the contract and then how hard it is to build around them, okay, Miles Turner can be over Cat. From a player standpoint, I think Cat still provides more value than Miles Turner, in my opinion. But I do agree that his contract is crippling to a lot of organizations, considering how much he's going to be making and how little flexibility that gives you around a big who needs so much to be successful.
It's all their fault, bro. It's all their fault.
That's the worst.
Do you guys feel Rudy Gobert is better than Cat, or am I reaching?
I've been on this take for a year now, man. Yeah, I have the receipts, man. You know how it goes.
Even as Gobert continues to age, I still think that, I mean, this year alone kind of provided the evidence that he was able to like slowly build this team into a top 10 defensive unit. I think in the second half of the season they were French top 5. Yeah, in the second half of the season I think they were French top 5 defensive unit, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not as high as I was on Gobert before, just because he's obviously getting older. He doesn't have the same mobility on the perimeter that he once had. Obviously, his recovery isn't the same that it once was. But I mean, those are all things that are just obvious. But yeah, I would definitely rather have Gobert than Towns. If y'all ever get the time, just watch Towns play defense before he got hurt this season. It's the funniest thing in the world, bro.
Yeah, I remember speaking about that early on in the season. It was comical watching.
Man, I got tricked, man. I thought it was gonna work somehow.
I realized
you thought it was gonna work.
I did
thought
too.
They were gonna at least be
oh my God!
No, I will say I realized after about 5 games that I was wrong. They played the Spurs on the 4th or 5th game of the season, and I realized it wasn't going to work from that point on. So I did get off that train basically the moment it departed. So I will say I was wrong, but I knew I was wrong pretty quickly. Marquivion Black said, "Peace to you and the panel, Mars. Here's to more life. Happy Father's Day, Low." Do you guys want to answer this question? Because I don't particularly want to answer this question.
What does it say?
It says, where do you rank Karl Malone? all time. The real Carl. You had to put that in parentheses too.
Yeah, I don't really want to answer that question. You guys want to answer it?
Top 25. We can move on. He's in there.
All top 25 point guard and power forward.
Oh, he's talking about power forward. Or I thought he just said all
he
time.
he did say power forwards. He did.
Oh, power forward. He's like top 7. He's top 7.
He like top 13.
Okay. Hunter 3200 again. Shout out to Low, Mars, and Dream, aka the real hoop talkers, not narrative talkers, unless it's trolling. I mean, yeah, I guess. Best destination.
No way.
Best destination for Dame. What's the best destination for Dame in you guys' opinion?
The best period would be Miami, but realistically speaking of what they could get in return for Dame.
Yeah, what place could they?
I spoke previously. I like the idea of Dame in New Orleans, in my opinion.
But what is New
CJ
Zion? You move Zion.
Oh, you move Zion. Okay.
And then you move CJ to a third team in a separate trade, in my opinion. Yeah. So you have Dame, Herb Jones, Brandon.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not running back that
Trey Murphy. And then at the 5, I also said move Valanciunas. And if you can get Porzingis for Valanciunas and some draft capital, I would also do that. And then you'd have Dame, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Kristaps Porzingis with Alvarado off the bench, Dyson Daniels off the bench. I'm probably forgetting their wing depth. They also have Jackson Hayes. But that's probably, and I think New Orleans should try and pursue that. But I hear they're very interested in trying to get the number 2 pick, which I don't think is probably the best way to use their time. But you guys have any other destinations other than Miami and my New Orleans situation?
Yeah, I think those are the 2 situations.
But we all know Dame's going to stay in Portland, right?
Yeah, he's staying, man.
The other problem, I guess, but the other problem with Dame is, like I said it before, it's just like the contract situation. It's just
he's going to be making $60 million.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing. $63 million in the year 2027.
Jesus Christ.
And he'll be 33, 34, 35. He'll be 36 years old.
And the player option $66 million.
Shout out to Dame for getting his money. Brian Holiday asked, better duo for a championship run: Giannis and Bird or LeBron and David Robinson?
Jesus Christ, David Robinson. Fuck. God damn.
Oh.
Giannis and Bird is kind of nasty though.
Hey, that high-low action with Giannis and Bird will go crazy. I can't lie.
I don't even like Bird. And I still might go with that. I don't like D. Robinson.
I don't think I've ever heard you pick David Robinson.
What tape have you watched of David Robinson that's not moving you like this?
He just has the 95 Western Conference Finals. That's what he has.
Nah, it's a Portland series where Terry Porter was just getting off, and I was like, fuck. I mean, what is he supposed to be? Is he supposed to be protecting the paint? Like, I just don't get it. But it is a lot of like illegal defensive scheming against him, and then he doesn't know how to like maneuver accordingly. It's just like it's only Hakeem. Also, like if in theory you want David Robinson to get to the basket, correct? If he's a second option, right?
Yeah, ideally, but he's not that type of player.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So how is he getting to the basket? If both him and LeBron are trying to get to the basket primarily, like they're gonna have to start settling for a lot of like.
Well, David Robinson had no issue settling for mid-range jump shots, which was.
But you would need somebody to set him up to dive, and like telling LeBron to settle for mid-range positioning or even 3 positioning to try to get D-Rob under the basket. Like he's just a better fit. It's a better fit. Giannis and Bird is a better fit. I'm not even a Bird fan, but it's a better fit.
I mean, yeah, I probably ultimately agree with that, but I'm also higher on Bird than Low is for whatever reason. He's just a Bird hater.
Low's looking at the Bird playoff stats, man. That's what.
Bird hate, man. Bird.
You know what's so crazy? I can't. That series that Rocket series where he played he had the 3 games in a row in the finals.
86, yep.
No, 81. 81.
Oh, the 81 finals. Yeah. Oh, okay. When he wasn't finals MVP. Okay.
I've watched all the games and then assume like, all right, cool. Here we are, game 4. I'll look up game 4, can't find it. I'll look up game 5, can't find it. Game 6, miraculously, that's somehow there. But the other games where he was bad, can't find it nowhere. Just can't find it. That's so interesting to me, but it is what it is.
Trying
Bro.
to say there's a conspiracy going on.
I think there
right
is.
now?
I genuinely think that there is. I think there's a
No way.
genuine conspiracy.
Larry Bird got the tapes removed.
They were like, we're wiping that out of history right now. That can't be. Every other game in that series is available. Wiping it out, bro.
All right. Well, maybe someone can explain that one. Vamp said, "Can you break down Nash over Kobe?" Dream, do you have Nash over Kobe?
As a player?
Offensively.
I think that offensively.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
do have
does.
Nash. Yeah.
Okay, so we all do.
Oh yeah, I remember you were nasty a little bit more. I was watching.
He was. He was.
Hey,
Stop.
This is the Hoop Talk podcast. This is the Hoop Talk podcast.
You're nasty.
Let's not talk about.
How often does Mars do that? Where he agrees with what I'm saying, and he just plays like, oh, well, check me, yeah.
Bro, ever since I know Mars been doing that, bro.
That's crazy.
Mars is nasty.
So go ahead, go Mars.
Are you guys done disrespecting me?
Nah, go ahead, go Mars. You disrespect me on that other platform all the time. So go ahead and go Mars.
Because I knew damn well you believed it. You were like, let me just throw these players at low and get
these narratives at him as well.
The disrespect right now is amazing on my own platform that you guys are trying to incriminate me. But I think Steve Nash leading some of the best offense of all time isn't a coincidence. I think him being, to me, I don't know how you guys feel, but I do think he's the second best passer of all time. And I actually do think he has a claim to be the best playmaker of all time as well. I don't think he is, but I do think he has a very strong argument to be that. I think his ability to manipulate defenses and leverage his scoring and his playmaking ability is probably second to none. I think the only person that I'm seeing right now who has that same level of ability is probably Jokic, in my opinion. So I also think that I'm very high on Steve Nash's shooting. The more I've gone back and watched as a jump shooter, I do think he's one of the 5 best of all time. His ability to shoot off the dribble, off the catch, his ability to make a variety of different shots in different situations. Also his ability to play in transition and get to the rim, ability to initiate out of pick and rolls. There was just so many different counters that Steve Nash had, especially in Phoenix, to so many different defensive coverages that I think with a variety of different talent where Amari Stoudemire was missing and the Phoenix Suns didn't really seem to miss too much of a beat offensively. Don't appreciate Low yawning during my monologue, but that's fine.
I was laughing at the comments too, bro.
I'm laughing at the comments as well. Every single time you say something, it's like leading to what?
I was like, yo, basketball's both sides of the floor. Unfortunately, we can't just do only offense. So,
but I mean, we can talk about that. The Suns made the conference finals in 2005, in 2006, and in 2010. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
They lost in the second round to the Spurs in 2007. The team that went on to win the championship.
They lost to the first round, I think, to the Spurs as well.
In 2008.
In 2008, yeah.
In 2009, I believe. In 2009, they missed the playoffs.
We
spoke about that earlier. And in 2010, they lost to the Lakers, the eventual champions in the conference finals.
Yep.
In 2005, they lost to the Spurs in the conference finals, the eventual champions. In 2006, they lost to that. No. In 2006, they lost to Dallas, who ended up losing the championship. But in all of Steve Nash playoff runs in Phoenix, he lost to the eventual champions or the eventual finalists. So if you want to say that it was leading to nothing, I guess. But if you look at the teams he was losing to, and also look at his individual performances, Steve Nash, I would argue, elevated his play in the postseason, especially from a scoring standpoint. His offenses were still translating to the postseason. I do think it would be very disingenuous to just say, well, what was his offenses leading to? When I think over here, especially on this channel, we speak in much more conventional and high level speaking terms instead of just saying, well, this team didn't win, so clearly it wasn't that impactful. So I think that's all fine and good on TikTok or on some other platforms where we don't really break down the game or analyze the game. That's fine.
Yeah, but you disrespecting narrative Mars right now, man.
I'm 1,000% disrespecting narrative Mars because I think here we all understand the value of great offense, but we also understand that no team has ever won solely on the fact that their offense was just all-time great and their defense was terrible. I don't think we have to argue that. I think we all understand that. I think looking at the fact that the 2005 Phoenix Suns had probably one of the best offenses in playoff history, looking at the fact that the 2010 Phoenix Suns did the same thing, to say that the team led to nothing because they didn't win when their defense was terrible. I think, Lo, you spoke about it, the 2010 Western Conference Finals, it was just an outright offensive battle. Neither team was really doing much defensively because neither could stop the other. Like that doesn't really indicate that Steve Nash wasn't a great offensive player because his team struggled to stay in front of people. Now, if you want to say the rosters were offensively slanted and maybe Steve Nash got a benefit from that, I think the best case of that is 2004 when Don Nelson started running Dirk Nowitzki at the 5. And he's had minutes with Antoine Walker was playing the 5. That's an offensively slanted lineup, and I do believe that that's kind of skewed to how good the offense actually was. But I still think if you look at Steve Nash and the impact he had on his offensive teams all the way from 03 to 2010, I think it's hard to make a claim that he's not at least one of the 10 best offensive players. If you don't think he's top 5, that's perfectly fine. If you value scoring much more than playmaking, I think that's perfectly fine. But to act like Steve Nash has no claim anywhere near here to me is kind of disrespectful. But
who's a better scorer, Tracy McGrady or Nash?
Let's read some super chats.
He's never going to answer that publicly. He's never going to answer that publicly.
Doe sent a super chat. KD is so shameless. Jokic, Giannis, Dirk, better all time. I don't care. I think Tatum is another guy too who always has a great cast and fails, but the US media still pushes top 5 because USA players under 30 are underperforming. I think KD is above all of these guys all time. Do you guys have any of these guys above KD all time? Jokic, Giannis, or Dirk?
No, but Jokic and Giannis can easily get over KD all time.
Yeah.
Let me not say easily, but
they can pass him. They can pass him. Dirk, I think he passed Dirk a few years ago.
Yeah.
Tatum, do I think the media push him as top 5? I don't really pay attention to the media, so I'll ask you guys. Do you guys see that the media is maybe biased towards Jason Tatum?
No. I would say no. But I don't watch a lot of them either.
I don't watch it either. But yeah, I think they do because of like what he said. I think they're trying to find an American.
Oh, Victor might be their guy, man. Victor might be their guy.
Yeah, but
Victor's not American.
They need someone to challenge.
Yeah,
our dream focus.
Jeez,
focus dream. They do need an American figure to push. I mean, John Morant.
You think it's gonna be Tatum?
He's the only one.
Jason Tatum's probably their last hope, in my opinion.
Your last American hope, man.
No, that's such a nasty say.
I mean,
I know.
We'll see what happens. But as of now, I think Jason Tatum is probably their best hope. I don't want to say last hope, their best hope. Liban Ali said, just joined the stream. Reaction to the Bill trade. We did speak about that earlier. You was going to say Scoot Henderson?
Yeah, Scoot is probably their last hope.
You're really high on Scoot.
Oh, yeah, I'm really high on Scoot.
What do you think his ceiling is?
I don't want to say John Morant with a jump shot because I think that's kind of cringy. I think his ceiling as a passer and playmaker is higher.
I was gonna say Kevin Johnson with a better jump shot. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what
I was gonna really gas it and say a more athletic, less of a passer, Chris Paul. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my Kevin Johnson comparison. I think his playmaking feel is as strong as Kevin Johnson.
The problem with that though, I think he has a better shift game.
Yeah, he's more shifty than Kevin Johnson is more than Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul is more crafty and fluid. I think he's more shifty. Yeah, and I agree. Kevin Johnson is more up and down. Yeah. He's not really left right.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea actually. I don't know actually. I think he has like if I want to be really nasty, I think he's what my age group unfortunately thinks Baron Davis was. That's what I think he is.
Oh yeah, people are very high on Baron Davis.
Yeah,
as a former Warriors fan, shout out to Baron Davis. Shout out to Baron Davis. Donovan Samuels tapped in. Salutes Mars, love the show. I appreciate the basketball content. Thank you. I appreciate everyone who's tapped in right now. 500 people in here. Like the video. Low as the big YouTuber. Can you tell me what liking the video actually does? Because I don't know.
It doesn't do anything anymore. So don't like the video.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Dislike the video.
I guess. If it does nothing. Don't press. I don't know if he's trolling or not. I don't know.
Subbing and leaving a comment means more.
There you go. Sub to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Leave a comment after the fact. I do read the comments. I actually read all of them every week. I really do. I know you do actually. Yeah, exactly. I don't have much of a life, so I do read.
I know you do.
There you go. If you leave a comment, I will get back to you if it's a question. If it's hate, I'll probably hate you back. Like just leave a comment.
So Duke, I'm trying to get the Jokic and Nuggets video out, and I need to hurry up and get that out like ASAP because on my main channel, and I need to get the Beal video out, I guess, on my second channel. And I also need to talk about did Jokic just have the greatest offensive season of all time?
Oh, damn. Okay.
But let's know. But let's pause and really think about that because he genuinely has an argument to be just as good as 2016 Curry. And Curry to me because of the
2016 Curry playoffs.
If you throw in playoffs, I think
him.
2016 Curry, I don't think is number one. I think
so. Who's number one?
I think if you factor in regular season and postseason, I think 87 Magic. I think 87 Magic has a case.
What about 2014 Bron?
I favor 2017 LeBron offensively over 2014.
2014, his numbers.
2014 scoring wise is probably LeBron.
Scoring.
It's definitely LeBron.
It's definitely LeBron, bro.
But that playmaking jump I think he had in 2017. I also think the Cleveland Cavaliers have one of the best playoff offenses of all time, but I could be wrong about that. Also, I think any Michael Jordan season from 89 to 92 has a case. Maybe even 93. Any Jordan season from 89 to 93 maybe has a
You're
case.
getting gassed off of Dan Marley trying to stay.
Yeah, I did say maybe 93.
Yeah,
I don't know
Dan Marley trying to stay in front of him is what really boosted up those postseason.
I don't know how comfortable I am in 93, but 89
because
to 92.
The fall off in the Knicks series is too nasty for him.
That
Knicks series did happen.
Yeah, that Knicks series is
one of the
bad.
best defenses of all time. But I do agree.
Not enough for that to drop like that.
That's fine. 93 Jordan is a very valid person to leave out. That's why I said 89 to 92. But if you wanted to try get 93, I would listen to it, even though it would be heavily finals based. But I do think 2016 Curry does fall behind all of those seasons simply due to the playoff injuries and then the postseason performance as well wasn't up to the regular season.
So is it nothing? Is Jokic had plus 12 on 20 plus points, that level of volume and efficiency. I don't know. I think there was a
that's 20. It's 2016 Curry's efficiency numbers.
Yeah, I think it was Curry and Wilt are the only two I think I found. And then for him to go in a postseason, I think he was plus 8 in the postseason. That's like what Bron and Jordan just normally do. He did that in the playoffs with the increased production from a scoring standpoint. And then also
I do think the passing did regress though in the postseason.
That's fine, but if the scoring goes up.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has a case. I do think he has a case. I don't know if it would be number one.
I think I'm still taking
that's something you really have to think about.
I think you could top 5. He's in it.
Especially when you consider he shot 45% from 3.
He shot 46 on 3 attempts.
I know it was. I can't even say it was all wide open because some of them were ridiculous, but it was a lot of wide.
It was in the Lakers series. He was making those ridiculous.
It was a lot of wide open threes. The mid range jump shot was there. I
thought y'all talking about Jordan.
Jordan had a postseason shooting
30, 38, 39. Jordan. I thought that's what I was like, damn, Jordan, because I knew it wasn't that many attempts.
Yeah, it was 3 attempts. He shot 38 or 39%.
That was 93. He should have did that. 30.
That was 93.
No, it's all of them.
I thought it was
in 91, 92, 93.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It's 91, 92, 93.
It's all of them are 98 or 38, excuse me.
Michael Jordan is different.
That's wide open shots, though, so that doesn't move me. Not move.
Oh, okay.
Face some real comp. Clyde Drexler, leave me wide open.
Okay, let's read
these. Danny Ainge, leave me wide open. Not moving me. Not moving.
Bro, the shrug though. The shrug.
Oh man,
that's fast.
Imagine if Jokic ran back on a shrug after hitting a wide open 3, bro. Come on, bro. We would be like, have no shame, Jokic.
Steph Curry did it one time.
That Jordan over
on a wide open 3. Oh, he needs to have shame.
Yeah, I think it was against Washington or something. Yeah, it was in the regular season. He had a wide open 3 and then he shrugged afterwards. It was kind of cringe. OBG Kenobi, what do you think of OKC rookie J-Dub, who has a higher ceiling between SGA and Ant, and why?
Those are separate conversations.
It's two different questions.
I was like, yo,
I think what Jada was a pretty nice rookie, higher ceiling between SGA and Ant.
I got SGA.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how
the playmaking gap to me is
just too wide.
Yeah, it depends on how you think that Ant defensive ceiling is gonna be and how impactful that actually is gonna be. But I'm taking Shea.
But SGA has the potential to be a really strong.
Exactly.
Well. Not as good as Ant because I think Ant just has a larger frame, and I think he's shown more flashes early on to be a good defender. But SGA's playmaking gap is just so clear to me that I think he probably has a higher ceiling. And J-Dub, I have a bias.
Are you sold on him?
On who?
On J-Dub?
I liked him coming out of college, but that's because I have a bias towards anyone who goes to Santa Clara, clearly because I'm a Steve Nash fan. But no, I did like him. I do think he's very poised. I do think his decision making is very good. I don't think he has like a tremendous scoring upside. I don't think his self creation is going to be through the roof due to, I think, just a lack of like burst and ability to get by his defenders consistently. But I do think as like a secondary or tertiary creator, I do think he's very strong. Can attack closeouts well. Can make jump shots. Strong floater game. I do think he has all the makings of like a strong.
Could just be I was gonna say.
I don't think he's going to be like a strong all-star perennially or anything like that. No. But on a team, I do think he can be a strong third or fourth piece just of an offense that really just provides a lot of continuity, connected passing, etc. I do think that's probably what he's going to do. And yeah, SGA has a higher ceiling than Ant, in my opinion. And he's the better player as of today as well, even though he's been in the league 2 or 3 years longer. So, I mean, yeah.
I agree. It's just the lack of creation. Also, Mars had me buying in on Detroit, and I start watching more Detroit.
Cade's got her.
I know, but
Cade got her. I
hope Cade gets back healthy because Cade also has like similar problems where he doesn't like he can get by.
Yeah, that's something.
I don't know if he can get by enough people for me to be as high as Mars is on him for whatever reason, but you know it is.
Oh, how are you on Cade, Mars? I haven't heard Mars talk much about that.
I'm high on Franz Wagner. Orlando? Oh man, that's
I don't speak too much about Cade. I mean, there's one player from that draft class who I speak a lot about who has a very high ceiling. But Cade, I do think he's very strong. I said he reminds me of the American Luka Doncic, but worse. I do think that's his comparison.
That's a crazy.
Much worse. You should say.
Yeah, much worse. I don't think he has the shot creation of Luka Doncic. I also don't think he has the feel for the game, but I do think he has a higher defensive ceiling than Luka as well.
What is a young team that y'all are going to find interesting next year, just in the general sense?
Besides Houston,
yeah, besides Houston. Jesus Christ.
Well, San Antonio for obvious reasons.
Okay, yes.
Orlando
is my bro. Orlando, I don't know.
Orlando experiment is very intriguing.
Man,
very intriguing.
I love me some Wagner.
Do you think they try and make a play and push next year? Because they were competitive early on in the season.
They might.
They did start to get competitive. This man Paulo got to step it up too. Of course, he was a rookie, but man,
let's give him a chance.
I was gonna say I wasn't even gonna be nasty, but that one calendar month when I was watching those games,
apparently he was dealing with an injury.
That was the issue.
I'm gonna ask you that. Do you think Paulo has the highest ceiling out of his draft class? Because for me, it's Chet. I still think Chet has the highest ceiling.
Yeah, okay, Chet. Then fine, yeah, Chet. But outside of Chet, then it would be Paulo.
No, yeah, I mean, there's not much else in that draft class.
I forgot about Chet though, and I just completely forgot about him.
Yeah, OKC is a team I'm going to be watching a lot of next year. Josh Giddey, SGA, Chet. I'm kind of giving up on Poku. Sorry, I'm kind of giving up on him.
You know who else I'm giving up on? Denny. I'm done, bro. I can't keep buying into that.
Denny?
I'm giving up on Denny, man. I can't do it, bro.
I liked him as well, man. I thought he was going to be good. But...
Yeah, but I can't do it no more. It's done already. It's cooked.
Damn, you didn't even shout out your Rockets, Mars. That they don't even need a.
I'm not allowed to pick my team, but I do think with Ime Udoka, I do think if we get a Men Thompson, who I know Low isn't very high on, but I do think that level of athleticism will translate. Whether or not
because you were watching them, right, Low?
It's not. That comp is nasty, bro.
Yeah, I have been. All I've heard is that the competition isn't great. I'm just very high on. I think he has very strong passing and playmaking feel. The athleticism to me, I mean, I'm not gonna say transcendent, but one of the most athletic guard prospects I think we've seen in a while. I think he's more athletic than Ja Morant. I think he's more athletic than Scoot Henderson.
Wow. If he's more athletic than Scoot, if you think he's more athletic
when you're 6'7" moving like that.
Scoot is crazy.
There's this one clip of Scoot when he split that double team. That was so crazy, bro. I could not.
Scoot be flowing out there, bro.
But Scoot's what, 6'2"?
He is like, yeah.
A man is 6'7", moving like that, coast to coast, body control. I mean, obviously,
it's easy to have body control when it's a bunch of. Let me not.
We'll see if it translates. We will see if it translates.
If you saw it. Even you will be kind of skeptical, like, all right, come on.
Well, are you saying I could get on the court with them? Is that what you're saying? You're saying I could get on the court?
Hey, Mars, can you dribble? Can you shoot? Maybe.
Hey, put me in
those teams that they face. It's not it, bro. It's just not it.
We'll see. I'm a believer, but I do think we might end up with Brandon Miller because I think Charlotte's going to take Scoot.
Why y'all calling me a hater in the chat? I've seen them play in real life. I was there in real life. I've seen them warm up. I've seen
Hey, you might
like,
be
in
pulling
real
a double
life.
influent though. You're not feeling the aura though, you know.
No, I was feeling the bricks. I was feeling the bricks from the missed layup lines that the opposing team.
Oh, miss layup. Oh, okay.
No, those teams
missing layups and layup lines is tough.
Those teams are bad. They're bad. They're bad, bro.
They've had games where they've gone against comp though, right? Like where
the comp is this other overtime teams,
but it's been
for the most part.
Yes, he looked good.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. Him and then it's a big that's out there that looks really, really nice.
Is that like, I see him? He's crazy athletic.
Yeah, he's crazy athletic. But then I don't know. Like I'm like this nigga's is dominating everybody. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. But I want to say like he's that nice. But then I look at who he's dominating. I'm like, I can't really buy into that, bro. I don't know what that is to me.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see with these OTE guys and see how they translate to the league. I do think Amen and Asar are gonna be like the indicators of how viable the OTE league really is. If they don't pan out, I do think that league is probably gonna not stay around for much longer.
Well,
Blue Marvel
said
they
keep paying me, I'm fine.
You guys are right. The West is looking superior again. I don't think we said
that. Right?
I don't think we said that, but I do think the West is looking strong. Depending on health of a bunch of teams, the Lakers, Golden State, depending on what Phoenix do, I do think the West is looking very strong. I wouldn't say superior. I do think this is probably a time of the most parity amongst conferences. Would you guys agree?
Across the league in general.
This is the most parity we've had in a while, and I'm loving it personally. Josh P said, "What about Porzingis to the Pelicans?" I already spoke about that.
We did.
I'm a great GM. I come up with a bunch of great ideas. I'm a casual. You're not a casual with this super chat. This is great. Rockets winning 35 plus games, and Jalen Green is averaging 25 plus. Stamp it. Do you guys, with no trolling, all trolling aside, can Jalen Green be a 25-point per game scorer next season?
Can he be? Sure.
Don't say on terrible efficiency. Don't do that.
Oh, what you mean? I can't put that caveat right there.
Can he be a strong scorer next season?
He can average his 25 on -5 efficiency.
Okay,
let's give you a little of that.
You guys don't want to do real hoop talk when it comes.
I mean, he can be. I don't know if he'll be. I don't know how positive it would be. It might be at like. I don't think he's going to be super efficient in his first like a scoring outburst season. I just don't.
I'm fine with that.
He might be a I think he'll be lucky if it's +1 or neutral. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's still like -1, -2 type shit.
All right, cool. Let's move on.
What is that not reasonable?
Look how quick.
Is that not reasonable?
Let me interact with.
Is that not reasonable though?
Non-basketball related, but Mars would look clean with braids. I mean,
this is what you interrupted us with.
Yeah,
no way, you're nasty.
Terry with 2 dads. Love is love. How good was Paul George in his peak, and where should he be ranked all time? I don't think Paul George has a all-time ranking when it comes to a peak. I don't have a list that will go that far back. Yeah. But I want to. Do you guys all have Paul George's peak as Oklahoma City?
Yes.
So none of you guys are falling victim to the conference finals runs in Indiana.
No. The real question is, at their best so far, who would you rather have, Tatum or Paul George?
Oh, I knew this question was going to be brought up by either you or Mars. I think I'll still take Paul George though. I'm taking Paul George.
The problem with PG is that it's that playoff translation. Every year he was either hurt or just didn't translate.
Yeah, that is a concern.
That's. But to be fair to Paul George, I don't think he was on teams as talented as Boston.
Boston too, because you put him with Boston. You got Al Horford spacing the floor, Robert Williams.
The spacing alone.
I also like Paul George, just the fact that he plays it in the mid range more. Also probably has a better post game at that point. Probably a better 3-point shooter as well. Just an overall shooter, I think he's better.
Yeah, I think he's just
by this time in Jason Tatum's career.
Yeah.
If we're considering this last year version of Tatum, yes, PG is a better 3-point shooter. Yes.
He has a better, more secure handle.
Yes.
I think both leave a lot to be desired as decision makers and playmakers. I don't know who you really give the edge to in that situation. I'd probably lean Jason Tatum because he has more responsibilities. But
it's a mid off.
Yeah, I would also agree with that.
Defensively,
now this might be a hot take, but I think that
Tatum.
I think I'd probably lean with Jason Tatum defensively.
I think it's Tatum as well. As low key high key. I think Tatum's frame is just bigger. What he did this year as a defender was very impressive. I was very impressed what he was doing.
Yeah. Also, I think Paul George defensive peak was in Indiana, not Oklahoma City. So I mean, there's also that. But if you can make super Paul George,
I don't know.
You think he was better in OKC?
I think the only reason why it looks that way is because of personnel around him. Like he had George Hill, Roy Hibbert. Like I think he had the ability more to be aggressive as a defender and be a bit more riskier in the passing lanes and just have like the result of that looking that way because he knows his back line is like Roy Hibbert with help.
That is probably true because his screen navigation, because I was going back and watching it, it was on point.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
yes,
it was
crazy. Point. So that, to be fair, Tatum is not doing that from a screen navigation standpoint.
Yeah,
not even remotely close. But I just think that Tatum, as a frame wise, passing lanes, knowing when to dig accordingly, sitting at the nail, rotating. But you could also argue the same thing for Tatum, that it looks that good because he's on a team with Marcus Smart, Derek White, Al Horford, Rob Williams behind him, even Grant Williams to an extent. Like he has so many other solid defensive pieces that he can be pretty secure in what he does out there. But to answer the question, in many ways similar to what you see from Jason Tatum right now is what Paul George was at his peak. So a fringe top 10 player at the bottom part of the top 10 at his absolute best, or right outside of a top 10 conversation that we're having right now, which back in the day is kind of where Paul George was anyway. He was right outside the top 10 or in the top 10 in the lower half of the top 10. So,
yeah, I think we all agree with that evaluation. Lo, do you have any time constraints? Because we have quite a few more super chats to get through. So I just want to ask you any time constraints.
Come on, man. I'm charging by the hour.
Okay.
I'm charging by the hour, so I mean, it's just
you pay people for your laundry, so I mean, you gotta get your money up.
Man, it was just a great service too. I got everything folded up and everything, man. It's great.
I'm still in the peasant lifestyle where we do those things our damn self. So there we go.
Hey, man.
Hugh Taylor, prediction for OKC players and record. I think they're going to be a playoff team next year. I said, hot take, I think they're going to be a top 6 seed. I don't think they're in the play-in.
Oh, my goodness.
I think they're
top 6.
I think they're going to be a top 6.
So who's disappointing then?
You think Grizzlies are falling?
I think Memphis.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
I think Memphis fall. I think the Kings come back a bit down to earth. I don't think they're going to be a top 3 seed. I think they're going to be a play-in team. I think Denver's going to maintain a top 6 seed. I think Phoenix.
No, say the other team.
Lakers.
The Lakers going to be a top 6 seed. I think Golden State's going to be a top 6 seed.
How about Dallas?
That's the team.
I think OKC have a better regular season than Dallas next year.
Okay.
But that depends. It will also depend on how I see Luka coming into next season, because I've been seeing pictures of him in shape. If he comes in shape, willing to play off the basketball and is a new player.
Yo, getting in shape in July is crazy. We got 2 or 3 more months and you're going to get in shape in June and July.
Isn't there a World Cup internationally?
What does that mean?
So he
can get back out of shape.
He did that. I was going to say he did that last year.
Yes.
Hey, don't get mad at me. I said I have OKC over them anyway. Okay. I'm saying if
I don't even think it's a Luka thing though. It's the rest of the roster, because I mean, the roster this season looks.
They need defense. They need defense.
And they lost it, and then they lost what little bit they had left. And then I don't even know what's going on with Kyrie. Actually, how do y'all feel about the Kyrie situation? That is the most interesting conversation that nobody wants to talk about.
I don't know what there is to think with Kyrie. I don't know.
Yo, that actually might be the best answer to it.
Yeah, like I don't. At this point,
would you get him a max contract?
What, for like 4 years?
4 years, a 4-year max.
If I'm Dallas,
the situation that Dallas is in,
if I'm Dallas, I would. And the reason why is because I believe you have to try and get Luka the opportunity to win with his.
Is that an opportunity?
And I believe Dallas believe that a superstar level player of Kyrie's caliber, which I don't think he is. But I believe Dallas
I was about to
believe,
say.
yeah, I believe Dallas believe that's the type of talent they need to put around Luka to try and compete. Not this early stint Cleveland LeBron where you just get a bunch of defenders on one guy and you try and do it that way. I think they believe you need that high level second option, and I believe Kyrie's probably their best opportunity to have it. And I believe it will be a mistake, not only because I think Kyrie is kind of unreliable from a health standpoint. I also think his playoff translation is pretty questionable. I also don't like the fit with Luka Doncic. I think it's a bad decision. But I think Dallas would probably be willing
I'll
to
be
do
honest with you, it's mainly Luka's fault too. I'll be
100% because Kyrie's capable without the basketball. Luka Doncic is the issue wholeheartedly with that situation. The fact that he doesn't do much without the basketball is kind of a major issue there. Something that I've detailed many times before in the past.
All agreed. If you're not Dallas, what's the most money you're giving Kyrie? You don't have to be specific, but
like I'd probably give him like a 1 year max.
No.
I'd give him like 1 year.
Remember, he wants the extension.
He wants 4.
Yeah, he wants that.
What's the most money you're giving him on a 4-year deal if you're not Dallas? Any other team? And you can pull off a signing trade as well.
I'd give him like 4 years. I'd give him 4 years like 80.
Oh wow.
180?
No. 80.
Oh,
What?
I'm not being locked into 30 million.
No way. That's a no, Mars. That's crazy, Mars. No way.
I'm not
you're
being
giving
locked.
him, you're giving him $20 million a year?
Yep.
no way.
No, you're not doing that. You're not.
And
doing
he's
that.
not.
I'm not giving Kyrie 4 years.
I want to remind you, Duncan makes 18. So
that's what I'm about to say. I'm going
overpaid.
I want to go to the $20 million club. Miles Turner, Aaron Gordon.
See, this is the issue. I'm
Clint
not saying
Capella.
he's only worth 20 million. I'm saying if I have to give Kyrie a 4-year deal, I don't want him on my team.
Oh wow! Jeez.
So I'm giving him the minimum I give him.
Right now,
like the most I give him is 80.
It's almost
he will inevitably say no. It's inevitable he'll say no. And then I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, oh well, I tried. I offered him a contract. I don't want Kyrie on my team for 4 years. That's no disrespect to him as a player, but he's injury prone. He'll be 34 by the time that deal is done.
Yeah.
He can barely play a full season as it is. The playoff translation already isn't great. And then I'm not too into the off-the-court drama. I do think that's kind of overblown. But all those issues for me is just not worth the hassle of Kyrie Irving. So for me, I don't want him on a long-term deal. So I'd give him the bare minimum that is possible to give him on a 4-year deal. And when he says no, I'm perfectly fine.
You lowballing him 18 mil, Mars.
I'm not paying Kyrie 4 years 120 because then there's a chance he accepts. And I don't want him for 4 years.
Oh, so you wait, Dream, you think he's closer to 38?
Well, that's how much he made just this past one. Like his last.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's overpaying him.
Yeah, but
I think he's closer to just 30.
30 mil?
Yes.
Let's see if he accepts that, man. I don't know if he might, bro.
But we'll see. I don't know.
The way these salary caps have just been jumping up. He's like,
I don't know if there's going to be a team that's trying to contend that will offer him 4 years. I don't know if you guys agree, but I don't think there's a team that would be offering
in a signing trade, not just like in a regular like just give you the money, no, but in a signing trade, maybe. I agree that the reason why into the chat, everybody overreacting in the chat. It's just, I mean, there's just everything that Mars outlined, plus a new CBA. And Kyrie's like a perfect example of like, I just don't know like how good of a player he truly is, and is the value of his talent overweighing everything else that I have. So I remember last offseason, I was talking to somebody and we were like, should the Denver Nuggets like get an upgrade for Jamal Murray to Kyrie?
Oh God. And
I didn't want to say it, and I was like, I don't know if that's an upgrade with all things considered. I don't think that's an upgrade. Talent-wise, maybe. No, it is not talent. It is. It's talent-wise, yes. But all things considered, chemistry, continuity, age, price, no, I don't think it is an upgrade. I actually don't think it is an upgrade. And I think most teams fall under that umbrella to where even though if Kyrie is more talented, everything else that comes along with having Kyrie, I would probably still rather just have the player that I have on my roster anyway.
That's the issue with Kyrie. It's like you're gonna have to take the
so
whole
you guys
package.
are starting to get on the train with my 4 years, 80 million.
Not 80. 80 is crazy.
Yeah,
if I can give him 25, I would take him for 25.
I was gonna say 100. But I don't know if I want to pay Kyrie 25 million at 34. To be honest,
but that's so far ahead that the cap will increase, so it won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean,
no. Like if you gave him 25 mils, it wouldn't be that big. Like, bro,
Yeah, it's
Mars,
not that
you
big
got to
of a
look at
deal.
these salaries, bro.
Yeah, you got to look at the. You're nasty, Mars.
Isn't like Davis Bertans still making like 16 million right now, and he hasn't played NBA basketball. It feels like in 2 years.
20 million is like Bogdanovich and Keldon Johnson range. Like that's where you're at right now.
Even Tim Hardaway's making 19, 17 mil, bro.
Yeah, like those NBA paychecks. I mean, get me in the league.
25 is okay. So here's another. This is nasty.
Oh,
but who would you rather? Who would you rather have on your all things considered? Austin Reeves or Kyrie?
Okay. Let's chill out.
No.
I'm gonna need you to explain in what worlds or what considerations am I making where I think Austin Reeves is the correct answer.
You're on a team with very little cap flexibility, like the Lakers.
Okay.
You're on a team where you could potentially lose, like LeBron, anyway, in a year in some change. Okay. You're on a team that after you make this deal with Kyrie, you have no more room to make any other improvements to your roster. And the difference is if AR is getting between 20 to 25, and Kyrie's probably going to get some between 25 to 30, if not more. And one player is like 5 to 7 years younger.
That is true. But I would ask you this, though, Lo. For the chances for the Lakers, if they do bring him back, do you not think you add Kyrie instead, that dramatically increases the chances?
I think the chance of just 1 year competing for the Lakers.
It's like
1 year. Yes.
It'll be 1 year.
No, I'm saying I think if you said 4 years for Austin Reeves or 4 years for Kyrie, I think a team like the Lakers, where they just want the chance to win a championship, LeBron is probably out after this season anyway. You're willing to take the hit of Kyrie's 3 extra years for the added chance of winning a championship that 1 year. Does that make sense? Like they're willing to trade off their 3 years in the future, for the chance of one championship.
At this point,
right
whenever LeBron,
and I think that's what would make Kyrie the better idea. Also, Kyrie is just so much better than Austin Reeves that it's kind of hard for me to try and make the claim that I'd rather have Austin Reeves long term than Kyrie.
Trying to give him
but is that the claim you're making?
All right.
You were trying to give him 20 million. Like, come on, let's go.
I'm saying I don't want him long term, so I just give him an offer that he'll.
So, would you rather have Reeves or Kyrie long term?
For the type of money I can get Austin Reeves for,
yeah.
Which is what? What do you think you can get Austin Reeves for?
15 to 20.
For 4 years, 60, which would be 15 a year.
Okay.
I'd rather have Kyrie. I mean, I'd rather have Austin Reeves instead of the 4 years, 140.
I was gonna say if he gets 15, I'm taking Reeves for that. It's 15.
Let's say he gets 20 a year. 4 year 80.
4 year 80
over Kyrie's like 4 years, 140, like 35 a year.
See, me personally,
I'd probably take Kyrie. I don't want to pay Austin Reeves 20 million a year. I don't think he's that good. Like that level of player to be 20 a year.
I just told you what 20 million is getting you next year.
Yeah, Keldon Johnson.
Bogey, Keldon Johnson, Jared Allen is on a steal of a deal.
I don't want any of these guys, to be honest. I think they're all.
You don't want Jared Allen?
No, Jared Allen's on a great contract. He should be getting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, cool.
But like Bogdanovich.
DeAndre Hunter?
No. I've given up on him.
Wow.
No disrespect to DeAndre Hunter. I wasn't that.
That's a lot of disrespect. That's a lot.
I wasn't that high on him coming in anyway. I don't think.
That's a lot of disrespect. Wow, Mars. That's a lot of disrespect.
Okay, W show. I wasn't that high on DeAndre Hunter coming into the league, so I was more quick to give up on him.
Dang,
but
even Buddy Hield's making 20 mil, bro.
Yo, this when you can shoot, you make money. Life's work. Sure. How would you guys rank these teams? The 08 Celtics, the 14 Spurs, 16 Cavs, and 2023 Nuggets. I don't want to start this off. So, Dream.
Of course, let's follow me. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
08 Celtics. Oh my gosh.
There will be the chat will be disappointed with one of these.
Wherever I go.
I don't think anyone's gonna unanimously agree on anywhere to put any of these.
Yeah, but there's a team or two where y'all will be disappointed where I'm about to have these. We'll have one of these teams ranked.
I probably will. I probably put the Cavs 1. I have the Cavs 1. Man, the 08 Celtics Spurs.
Yes.
I remember the Celtics went 7 games with the Atlanta Hawks.
I know.
Yeah, and that's what's killing what they did in the playoffs. What they did in the playoffs was just pure degeneracy.
They went 7 with Cleveland as well. Yeah,
pure degeneracy. What they did in that postseason run, bro. Pure degeneracy.
Also, remember who's coaching the 08 Celtics team.
Okay.
Remember that as well.
Okay, all right. I'd probably go. Yes. So Cavs 1. I probably Spurs, Celtics, Nuggets in that order.
No.
You're nasty.
Hey, it's my show.
You put the Nuggets where?
He put
the Nuggets last.
Okay. I was about to say, listen. I was like, also, I'm high on Jokic, but I'm not that high. 2014 Spurs won, in my opinion. 2016 Cavs just because LeBron ceiling is so high, and then also I think that was the defense wasn't as bad as it was later on. That Celtics team is so nasty offensively.
No, do what you want to do. Put them last, bro. You know.
I do want to put them last. I want to put them last because their defense didn't even translate in the postseason as well as it should have either. Fuck it, Nuggets then Celtics. Just so everybody know, the Celtics defense was 103 in the postseason. They had like a 98 defense in the regular season, and in their offense, oh my god, it was a 109. It was barely above playoff average.
For me,
they dropped in both regards. Fuck man, Jesus.
For me, I'll probably go 16 Cavs, 14 Spurs, 08 Celtics, 2023 Nuggets. And I think that was the same list that Dream had, to be honest.
Yeah, it was my list. Yeah, I had the same.
Man, y'all high on KG, huh?
I'm not gonna lie. I think KG is the reason why I don't have them last. So yeah.
Yes, y'all high on KG, boy, because he had to save that team. A lot of backpacking being done in that postseason run.
Mike said, "I want to see AD and Rudy Gobert play defense together."
Fine. I don't want to know. I don't want to see them play offense together, though.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. I hate that offense, especially since AD's jump shot deserted him recently, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Givenchy Florestal, I think I said that right. I love the influence you guys are having on how we speak on ball, and please talk about. Thank you. Hot take, I think 1990 is MJ's peak offensive season at his athletic peak while peaking as a 3-point shooter. I don't think that's a hot take. Do you guys think that's a hot take?
No.
I think anywhere from 89 to 92 is probably the best stretch of years. I hear a lot of 87 Jordan because I think that's the year he averaged 37.
That's 37.
I think that's what the hot take is because I think his playmaking hadn't developed to the level it should have done yet. I also think his ball dominance was kind of a concern. So I think that's more of a hot take. I think 1990 falls right in line with most people. Valley 86 sent some SEK. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you. Can you guys create the best possible defensive unit for the modern era using all-time greats? That's interesting. I'd go Jason Kidd at the 1. So just defense. I don't need to worry about scoring on the other side.
Just don't worry about the offense.
Okay. So I'd go Jason Kidd at the 1. I'd go Tony Allen at the 2. I'd go Bruce Bowen. I'd go Bruce Bowen at the 3.
What?
I'd go LeBron James at the
What?
4. I'd go LeBron. I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna explain why.
Bruce Bowen?
Yes, I'm going to
No
explain
way.
why. I'm
That's
going
a
to
nasty
explain why.
pick.
I'm
Oh
going to
my
explain
God.
Why. I'm going to explain why. I'd go LeBron James at the 4, and then at the 5, I'd go with. Okay, I changed my list. I'm gonna go Jason. I'm gonna go Jason Kidd at the 1, Tony Allen at the 2, LeBron James at the 3, Kevin Garnett at the 4, Hakeem at the 5. I need more versatility in my front court. So
okay.
There we go.
Why even bring up Bruce Bowen?
Yeah, that was
because I was thinking if I had
Scottie Pippen would have been a better name.
No, I'm not
for versatility purposes. At the 4,
I'm not a fan of Scottie Pippen's ability to do with crossovers.
We're just talking about defense
In today's era.
Oh, defend crossovers into that. Oh, that's what you're saying.
So that's why I'm sticking with more modern bigs. But there we go. That's my 5. You guys have any differences? Any Gary Paytons, Drew Holidays?
Probably throw Kawhi maybe in there. Maybe Kawhi.
I could run Kawhi at the 2, right? Just have Jason Kidd, Kawhi, LeBron, KG, and Hakeem.
Maybe, man.
Or even worse, Ben Simmons at the 1.
Oh fuck, he's not that good. Stop.
Just go 6.
He's not as good as Kidd defensively. No,
I agree, but just for the sheer,
he just wants
for the lulls.
Yeah.
For the 6, 7 and above, 1 through 5. I mean, it's pretty nice. Not that.
Yeah, but that's the whole purpose of having KG and Hakeem anyway, so you wouldn't have to do that anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I gave my team. You guys haven't given your team.
I keep Kidd for screen navigation alone, or maybe Drew, but one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say Kawhi. That's just a nasty pickup.
It's a great pick, though.
I know, but it's just nasty. Just for the shits and giggles of saying it, you're nasty. I'm not mad at Tony Allen though. Tony,
you're gonna get that comment. Where's Kobe, bro? The Kobe.
I was going to troll and be like MJ.
MJ, man.
Kawhi at 3, LeBron at 4, and I just had KG at 5.
That's what I was thinking. I was going to put KG at the 5 in today's game. I do like that, but I feel like I'm being disrespectful to not have Hakeem in there. So I think just having that size in my front court in today's game, especially seeing what Jokic is doing, kind of do probably need some more size in the front court.
I can put LeBron on him and have KG roam. I'm fine.
But how about having KG on Jokic and having Hakeem roam?
You think Hakeem is going to get? I don't think Hakeem is going to be able to guard today's guards on the switch.
But do you really need to switch when you have Tony Allen and Jason Kidd? How many switches are already being forced?
True, but a more competent offensive unit will be able to find ways to get Hakeem out of the lane one way or another.
But then you could pre-switch with KG.
True, but I much rather. But then if I had the further away I have Hakeem, even when I'm pre-switch, if Hakeem is on the weak side, I'm pre-switching things. There's just way more that I can just do with like LeBron and KG off ball, like just way more.
The real question: who's coaching this defensive team?
That is true.
Because we can have the players, but I mean, if you have Mike D'Antoni coaching them, yeah.
I forgot about Draymond. Fuck.
Draymond is another person I was considering, but I feel like with KG there, I think Draymond. I don't want to say become.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Right. There's no. If I have both LeBron and
I
KG,
have two of the highest level IQ communicators already.
They're saying Spo and Pop.
Yeah, probably Pop.
I was thinking Pop because I think what he was able to do in the early 2000s, but also I think Spo's creativity defensively. I mean, obviously Doc Rivers. Spo or Pop would probably be the right idea between those two. I don't know who I'd go with. I don't think
this has to be earlier years of these coaches, right? If that's the case, then it's Pop. It's not Spo.
Yeah. Okay. We can. Someone said Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse is actually a good pick for the modern era as well. Nick Nurse was a great defensive mind. Okay, a few more. Darius Jones. How do we feel about Dame to Milwaukee? I don't know how.
I don't think it's working.
Yeah,
I don't think it's working.
I don't think Milwaukee have the pieces to get that done. Vamp asked if I need mods. I don't see many people going crazy in the chat. But I do see the regulars in here that I probably do need to make mods. So that will probably happen at some point, maybe in the next show. But thank you. Terry with two dads again. What's a player that you thought had great potential but didn't quite pan out? Mine is Josh Smith. I don't know why you thought
Josh Smith panned out though.
Into Julius Randle.
You're being okay. You're not. He did that when he went to Detroit. In Atlanta, he panned out. Josh Smith panned out to be the player he's supposed to be. How dare you bring up Julius Randle? The defense that Josh Smith was playing is way better than whatever Julius Randle thinks that he's doing out there in New York right now.
Okay.
It is. All defense alone, he clears Julius Randle, in my opinion.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
That's a low bar. But
He clears Julius Randle. But I said this on the panel. I think I had high expectations for Michael Beasley, just that scoring Arsenal. I thought he was going to be a left-handed Carmelo Anthony. I know that's not like all-time great, but as a scorer, I thought that was his potential. But more recently, coming out of high school, I thought Skal Labissière was going to be very good. Then I watched him at Kentucky and he couldn't even start. So that's when I realized, that wasn't great. Jonathan Isaac, but he had injuries. Other than that, I don't think there's any people I've really been wrong about. I knew Jahlil Okafor wasn't going to be great. Just because low motor wasn't a great rebound.
You hyping yourself up there, Mars?
I was right about Jahlil Okafor. So I mean, there's that. But anyone that you guys thought was gonna be
for me, it was probably Emmanuel Mudiay.
Oh my god!
I was just it's just.
Talent evaluation. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Hey man, it's when I got started, bro. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that's it. Lo, who did you think was gonna pan out?
I'm not really a college guy, so I don't really keep up with them. But I don't know why I was pretty high on Greg Monroe. So and then the league then the league shifted and then
the league.
Yeah, if this is still the 2000s.
Oh, Cam Reddish. Yep, someone in the chat said Cam Reddish. Yep, I still have faith. But yeah, Cam Reddish.
The next Paul George.
Cam Reddish was someone. Yeah, I thought he was gonna.
Being on Cam Reddish Island is crazy.
Denny Avdia, I did think was gonna pan out.
Oh yeah, Denny is one I thought. Well, I was like, oh no, this is the guy, and it just has a lot.
I was high on Denny Avdia. Ismail Haji said Scoot is training with Kyrie.
He is.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. I mean, if his jump shot can be consistent, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with him in the NBA. Drink more water. Which new coach gets the most wins? Regular season wise,
Griffin.
Yeah, probably Adrian Griffin. Or Nick Nurse, we'll see. But Adrian Griffin.
Boy, you high on that, boys.
Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, Nick Nurse gonna run that man to the ground out there in Philly, boy.
He's gonna be nasty, I'm not gonna lie.
If there's ever a year where a Joel Embiid postseason injury looks the most guaranteed,
it's this season.
Nick Nurse, bro.
It might be this year. Hunter 3200. Out of all the coaching decisions made this year, who's gonna regret their decision the most? I think the Suns will regret letting go of Monty Williams.
Yes.
You don't like Frank Vogel? Or you just think Monty's just better?
Frank Vogel. I gotta bring defensive pieces because Vogel offensively is too inept to really maximize what they do, and they're gonna have to be maximized offensively. So yeah, I think it is gonna be that team.
Yeah, I mean Monty Williams going to Detroit. I just hope he doesn't have to. I hope they trade James Wiseman so he doesn't have to deal with that because I don't wish that happen.
Oh man, Jesus.
B Smooth tapped in. Shout out to B Smooth. PG over Jason Tatum is crazy.
I don't think we said that. We just comparing them.
Yeah, we were just. I don't think we actually said who was the better player, but
no, I did. I said PG.
Oh, who'd you say?
He said PG. He said PG.
I said PG. I'm thinking PG.
Damn, B Smooth's calling you crazy, man. I think you might need to go cooking. PNU Day. Which franchises do you think is responsible for the most fumbles in the last decade, whether it be bad drafting, mismanaged talent, etc.?
Charlotte.
Yeah, it's Charlotte.
I was gonna
Minnesota.
I was gonna say the Kings, but they've really fixed up in recent years.
It's Charlotte or Minnesota.
Minnesota they got Ant, which was good.
And
Terry with two dads. Cade is pending without the athleticism, right? Do you see that?
Sure. I mean,
I like Penny's self creation more, but
as a blanketed statement, sure. Like,
yeah, I can see it. And this is a super chat I wanted to save towards the end of the show just because I think it's a great way to end the show. Ahmed Adhari said, Low and Mars, I'm interested to hear your top 10. Now, I don't know if you meant all time or currently. So, Low, I'm going to ask you for both. So,
yes, so we got
to look at like he's trying to just squeeze me any type of content he can get me is crazy.
Hey, I mean, we're just having fun up here. So, yeah, whichever list you want to start with.
But, Jokic, Curry, Giannis. I think I've been pretty consistent with those three.
Mm-hmm. This is in order, by the way, right?
I guess.
Okay.
you see how he's just trying to like in order, right? Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, Jokic, Curry, Giannis. I gotta also say interchangeable. Those last two. Oh boy, I'm still, and this is health, or I'm taking that into consideration.
When healthy, everyone when healthy.
Oh, when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those three still stay firm.
You taking the Claw or Luka here?
I'm taking Luka.
Luka.
It's the next one that I'm kind of going back and forth on. I'm gonna take Kawhi and then Embiid.
Okay, that's 6. There's a certain someone out in Phoenix.
Then AD, no, Anthony Davis.
Okay, that's 8. That's 7.
Then KD.
Okay, 8.
Then LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the default is always just Dame in a general sense.
It really is.
I feel like it kind of always is. It's just Dame. It's always just Dame. I'll go Dame. I'm not Tatum. Tatum is. Yeah, I'll go Dame. I'm gonna go Dame. I'll go Dame. Tatum is 11 though. It's a close 11. Tatum is 11.
Dream, do you have any grievances with that list? Just anything that?
No, I was gonna say that's pretty much my list, but I recently made the Tatum change with Dame. I was like, I think I'm gonna take Tatum now, man. I want to give me Tatum.
The defense is moving you.
The defense
could move you. Yeah.
Yeah, the defense is moving me.
People are asking about Jimmy Butler in the chat, but
he plays in Miami. That's where he's at. He's in Miami.
Low all time top 10.
No. You're top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, you're top 10. Yeah, you're top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah. Come on.
Giannis, Jokic. Steph.
No way. Who's the best player right now, Mars? Who's the best player?
I think if I'm building a team, Giannis would be my first pick.
Okay. Oh.
That's not what I asked you, though. I didn't ask you if you build.
Hey, it's my show, buddy.
If you asked me that, I also would have said yeah, because I would just put better players around him.
If I had to pick the best player in the world, which means everyone in the right situation, who I think the best player is.
Oh, that's okay. You got it, Mars. Fine, you got it.
No, because we do this differently, you and I.
So go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it then.
You do it based on like, I'm not gonna say recency bias, but yours is more like at this moment, who's playing better than like Jokic played.
Who performed better?
Yeah, Jokic played the best this year. No argument from me. I think he's played the best for maybe the last 2 years, arguably. But I think the best player in the world, if I had to pick, instead of saying interchangeable, I'd go Giannis 1, Jokic 2, Steph 3. If I had to pick. Now, I think
I remember that. No, go ahead, go.
I've been pretty consistent with that, though. I think it's close enough to where I just say it's interchangeable because I be arguing back and forth with myself between them two all the time. But like right now, I'm arguing between them right now. I've changed my mind. Jokic 1, Giannis 2, Steph 3. Jokic 1, Giannis 2, Steph 3. Number 4, I'll go Kawhi. Number 5, I'll go Luka. Number 6, I'll go Embiid. 7, Damn, I really was about to say KD like it was easy, but now I'm
It's
thinking
not. It's not.
Anthony Davis. I mean,
Yes. The things that he was doing defensively, bro, was pretty. It was.
But is that playoff bias though?
I think when healthy, he just does that though.
Yeah.
And that's what this list is. When healthy. When healthy,
AD 7,
yes.
KD 8, 9 Jason Tatum, 10 LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah, LeBron's defensive slip is noticeable, and also I'm not a fan of the rim pressure with AD in the lineup as well. So
you just said in the most ideal situation.
Yeah, and then you said that was bad.
No, I said that's
bad.
You
it came on. So then I was like,
wow. Mark,
no.
You did not say okay, cool.
You did not say okay, cool.
You still went with Giannis, and then you were like,
and then I changed my mind. Did I not? I changed my mind.
So you changed your mind because of what though?
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a lot of conversations.
Nah.
No, you want. So I think LeBron's rim pressure has regressed anyway.
It's regressed.
Who
was a better rim pressure, LeBron or Tatum when they're healthy? Who do you think has a better rim pressure?
LeBron.
Okay, then. So that's the player you have over him. So why bring that up then? Why bring up rim pressure if it's still better than Tatum?
Because a lot of LeBron's value comes from his rim pressure. If his rim pressure regresses, he doesn't bring the jump shot that Jason Tatum brings. I don't think he brings the overall shot creation that Jason Tatum brings, like individually shot creation. I do think his playmaking isn't as strong as it used to be due to the lack of the lower rim pressure. Defensively,
it still leaps and bounds better.
100% is way better than Tatum. But when I'm comparing it to LeBron James bringing most of his value from getting downhill and playmaking
too. So this is not.
Yes.
Yeah. When healthy, LeBron James' defense wasn't moving me. The playmaking was still top 6 in the NBA, but it still was a regress from what he was, which is why I think he's sliding down the list. Same with the rim pressure. It can be better than Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum still bringing much better defense, in my opinion, much better self-created scoring. Also, this year, LeBron James' off-ball game has developed. I will say that.
I was going to say his cutting this year.
The off-ball game was moving. See, this is the thing. I don't think it's definitive to have Jason Tatum over LeBron.
No, that's what you said. That's fine.
No, I have Jason Tatum at 9 and LeBron at 10.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
But I don't think it's definitive. Like you could sway me the other way.
Yo, just say interchangeable. You'll get yourself out.
Hey, interchangeable. Just
put it interchangeable.
By the way, I want to say my top 3 is no longer. I think Steph is a clear third. I don't know how you feel about that. I think Steph is a clear third. Just on the fact that if Jokic is the best offensive player in the game, in my opinion, he is. I don't think Steph has an argument to be number 1. So 1 through 3 can't be interchangeable. Because if Jokic is better than Steph, where Steph brings basically all of his value, what would Steph's argument for number 1 be? Unless one of you guys.
No, but you think that there's when you say he's clearly number 3 though, like you don't think that 2 and 3 is close?
In order for 2 and 3 to be close, I'd have to think that 1 and 2 isn't close. If that makes sense.
Okay, all right, I hear you.
So for me, if Steph's the second best offensive player in the game and he's bringing all his value on that side versus the best offensive player in the game being Jokic, who's better than him on offense right now, it'd be hard for me to say that Steph is the best player in the world. If I think Steph and Giannis are interchangeable, I can't make the argument for Steph over Giannis. So Steph is now number 3 for me, which is no knock. He's 35. He's older. He's not the best player in the world. I think he was in 2021. And in 2022, I think you can make the case. But now, no longer. But all-time low, top 10, all-time low. And then we'll get up out of it.
I mean, then you got to give your top 10 after that. So
we'll see if we have time.
Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Duncan, Russell, interchangeable.
Oh,
Duncan,
Magic. I haven't heard your list in a while, but low.
Yeah.
They finally. They finally.
We did our work.
Did your work?
Yeah. Yeah. Duncan and Russell interchangeable. Who do I have at 6? I feel like I'm drawing a blank here.
Is it not Magic here?
No. Magic is close to Hakeem. He's in between Hakeem and Shaq, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Kobe 6.
Yeah, Kobe.
Hakeem 7. Magic, Shaq, Curry. And between Shaq and Magic. I think that's interchangeable. But I think Curry is not like number 10.
Okay. My top 10. Bron, MJ, Kareem, Russell. I think at 5, I think 5 through 7 for me is Shaq, Hakeem, Duncan in that order. But they're very close. And then 8 through 10 is Kobe at 8, where he's like closer to Duncan than he is to 9. 9 is, I believe, Larry Bird, and then 10 is Magic, I believe. I could be wrong, but that sounds about right. So
I thought you had Curry over Magic.
I said with a sustained postseason run, he might be able to get over him this year, but
And he
two
didn't
rounds
have it.
isn't enough for me to.
He was missing wide open shots too in that Lakers series.
Yeah, apparently he shot like 24% on open threes or something.
Yeah, it
which
was
is
pretty
ridiculous.
bad. I was happy, but you know, it is what it is.
But we got one more super chat from
Why is
Zane.
Bird in your top 10? Jesus.
Because I don't
Get him
criticize
out of
the
there.
way of drop. Loads are racist. That's what that is.
Jesus.
Get
Get him out of there.
What should my Bulls do moving forward? We all agree they should just trade DeMar DeRozan and probably trade Zach LaVine too, right?
Yeah, but they're about to sign Vucevic to an extension, which will be the nastiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there in Chicago. I would just rebuild, but that's what I would do. I'd also trade Caruso to a contender because I think Caruso needs to play for a contending team. You guys are wasting one of the best defensive guards in the league on a team that is competing for nothing. I think a contender would happily take $9 million a year for Alex Caruso. But one more just came in. John Coke Jones. Mars, last year during the 7-hour autism awareness stream on PC, you said Giannis any superstar in NBA history in this era. Do you still stand by that? No. You was on that stream.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I was not on that stream.
You was on the you wasn't there the whole time. You came on the 7-hour autism awareness stream. But what I said was I believe Giannis's game is so tailor-made for this modern game with all the spacing and the premium that comes from his help side.
Oh, you said that, Tate?
Yeah. So yeah.
And you weren't getting killed for it? Damn.
No, I think I did get killed. No, this is peak Giannis love at this point.
This is the peak Giannis.
But yeah, the rationale behind it was the game is so tailor-made for Giannis's game, where it's so wide open, so much spacing, where his ability to get downhill, also the premium on his help side defense, his rebounding, the pace of the game favors him. That I don't know if there's many superstars in NBA history who translate to this era as well as Giannis does. Now, obviously, I was incorrect. But at the time I said it, that was the rationale. I did believe it, I think. I don't know how much I'd actually gone and thought about it at the time I said it. By the time, it sounded like pretty right, and I do remember saying it, so I'm not going to hide from it. But I was clearly wrong. I do remember saying that if Michael Jordan was in this era, Giannis would still be the best player. I do remember saying that. But
oh my God. How much have you grown? Man, you've grown a lot.
A lot of takes I've had in the past.
Damn, you thought if peak Bron played in this era, Giannis would still be better?
Mars was a Giannis guy, man.
Oh my God. You thought if peak Bron? But
see, that's the thing. I don't know.
No, but still, you thought if peak Bron played in this era.
I don't remember. I don't know if I said verbatim, put any superstar in today's game and Giannis is better than them, or if I said Giannis would be better than Michael Jordan in today's game. And that I don't know if I actually said
that's about the same thing. If we're honest.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think at the time, this is a year ago, but I don't think I even thought about LeBron James in today's game, like Miami LeBron or 2016 LeBron. I don't think like that even came across my mind because I think I was thinking about just Michael Jordan because I think that was.
I mean, by default, you would have to.
But yeah, I was wrong. Like I mean, I did say I was wrong.
By default.
Yeah, you said over every.
You've grown a lot, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't genuinely remember if I said Giannis would be better than every superstar ever in today's game. I don't know if I don't remember saying it. I probably did. And if that's the case, then LeBron slipped my mind because also now I've just grown. Maybe back then I did think he'd be better than LeBron. I don't know. But as of today, I do not believe that anymore. And I was 1,000% wrong. And I've been wrong many times before. I just don't get cooked when I'm wrong. But I have been wrong many times before. But this was meant to be an hour and a half stream. I told Lo that we go for an hour and a half. We've been here for 2 hours and a half. So
Jeez, I'm getting paid
Lo,
an hour. So
Lo, thanks for pulling up free of charge. Thanks for pulling up free of charge.
Nah, it's not. Well, that's not the agreement.
Okay. Dream will get in contact with you. Dream will get in contact with you. But
it's $2.50 an hour.
Yeah, $2.50. Yeah, I agree.
No, 200. Actually, it's $250 per 30 minutes. That's how much.
You forgot the discount, bro. The discount, Lo.
That is a discount.
Well,
it's normally about 300.
I got the friends and family discount. Is that right?
Yeah, 250. I find 200 every 30 minutes, man. That's a discount.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the discount. But did you enjoy Real Hoop Talk? Well, for the most part, Real Hoop Talk.
Yeah, for the most part, it's because it's a nice change of pace, man. You know, hopefully next time be a bit more constructed and conservative with our efforts. But I came late, so I think y'all talked about most of the things that we were going to talk about, man.
Yeah, we did. I saw you was on your Twitter space. I wasn't about to wait for you. You're not big time. You're not Hollywood. We start with or without you. But
I was going to tell you though. But yeah, thanks for having me on though. Shout out to the chat, 500 plus people that was in here, and y'all rocking with us strong. I am going to upload more often. I'm finally getting back to doing that definitely much more often. You know.
Yeah, I would say Lowe's link is in the description, in which it is, but I mean, I think everyone who's subscribed to me is also subscribed to you anyway, so I don't think they really need to.
Are you a Lowe merchant?
Considering the fact that I think most of your takes have actually come from me, I'd argue.
Oh man!
Considering your infographics are mine.
Oh! Hey! You want to know? You want to know who makes those for me?
Who? Oh, that's an L man right there. He just threw you all the way underneath the bus, man.
Yo. Hey, I'm not a low merchant, me personally. Dream, you might have to beat the allegations, but me, I'm not.
It was about the time, man.
Oh,
let's end the show here.
That's what I had to say. It's about that time.
There we go. Thank you everyone for tapping in. Man. Like the video, leave a comment. We might try to get Low up here again in the near future. We'll see if I can afford it. The pocket's kind of hurting right now.
Facts.
But
we do.
Check out Dream's channel. He said he will be posting about Bradley Beal soon.
Yeah, of course.
Check out Low's channel. Also just like the video. Thank you. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week.